Hey everybody, how's it going? This is the first ever Fandom Empire Halloween Fest. I'm your host, Sean. Thank you for taking, as much time as you want out of your night tonight to watch us. But for the next 3 hours, that's right, 3 friggin' hours, we're going to be on here talking all things Halloween, not just the franchise either. We're talking Halloween, we're talking Friday, Elm Street, Texas, Scream, The Shining, and so much more. And joining me for the first hour of the this roundtable special. First up, we've had him on the channel before. Good friend of the channel. It's Mr. Nick Pusch. How's it going, man?
Hey, good, Sean. How about yourself?
It's going. Busy times, dude. Busy times. But there's that Jaws poster. Every time I have you on here, I see the Jaws poster in the background. I'm like, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. And I still haven't gotten it. So...
yeah, I found it at Walmart for $4. I was like, oh man, I should have bought like 10 of them.
I need to get myself one, that's for sure. Also joining us, the man that lives right by me. Small world when you find out that someone used to be a mod on a YouTube channel that you frequently visit, and it turns out on the entire planet, man, even though our paths have never crossed, we live in the same city. It's Mr. Jason Knight. How's it going, dude?
Hi, I'm good, man, and thank you for inviting me on. It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure to have you, man. It's been a long time coming, and we're here. I just want everybody to know, hour number 2 will feature the Slaughtered Lamb movie podcast guys, Darren Sands and Frank Riker. You probably know them from Dave McRae's channel or even here, and also Tommy B. And then the third hour, we have Johnny and Matt Whitfield join us. We were supposed to have Matt, is it Facci? Is that how he pronounces his last name?
Facci.
Facci.
Yeah.
And he still may come in this first hour, but tech issues galore. That's what happens. Welcome to technology. Welcome to 2020, where absolutely nothing goes as planned, because why would it? So we have a wide... and I do mean a wide list of topics to talk about this evening. But why don't we start right where, and we're going to ask everybody this tonight, right where, everybody's heart is at the moment. The Halloween Kills, we'll call it a mini teaser, was released yesterday. Guys, what's your reaction to it? Are you liking it? You loving it? You hating it? Where do you stand with this? Let's go with Nick first, man. What's going on?
I watched it, 40 times or so by now, and I'm trying to find something to nitpick. I really am, and I just got nothing. I don't know if it's, just my fanboy excitement, but it's what I expected for the most part. I didn't, I see people bitching about, why isn't it longer? Come on, it was never going to be that much longer. So for me, it's exactly what I expected. It did what it was supposed to do. It teased the movie. It got me pumped for it. I liked a lot of what I saw, as far as the cinematography, as far as, some brutal Michael moments that they teased a little bit. I saw a lot of little things, like a crowd of people around an ambulance, like an angry mob, and, little things like that kind of got my heart racing, and I was very, very happy with it. So I've gotten a little shit for not, nitpicking it a little more, but as far as my expectations and what I expected, I was very happy with what we got.
Nice. Awesome. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of positivity in the world. Everybody wants negativity because negativity sells, but sometimes things are just right. Jason, what do you think of it, man?
I haven't watched it yet because I've been way too busy this week.
Oh, wow.
I haven't seen it yet. I saw everyone putting up their stuff about it, but I haven't seen it yet at all.
It makes me wonder if we should do a random watch of the teaser right now, but that would be Jason's call. Are you all right if we do that?
Yeah, sure. I'll give you my thoughts after.
Alrighty. I can't have the sound up though, so there'll be no sound on my end. But we can certainly bring it up with without sound, and you'll see the visuals at least. Okay. So you're going to see a different graphic at the bar, everyone. Apologies for that because this was not planned. All right, let's have a watch. See if I can make this window a little bit bigger. Let's watch the Halloween Kills 37-second teaser. And just like that, it's over. It's not very long. We'll play it again one more time, since it's only 30. Oh, this one's saying it's 36 seconds. Let's have another look at it. There you have it, the very short teaser to Halloween Kills, which realistically, when you take out the transitions, it's more like 28 seconds. Let's go back to the guys here on the round table. I know there's no sound there, Jason, so it's not ideal, but what do you think of what you saw?
It looks like it's going to have more mood and atmosphere, judging from that, but it also looks like, just like McRae has been saying, they're going for more pacing, more kills. It looks like more violence. I did like the one shot with Karen, with that look on her face, of that, like, because I actually didn't have a problem with her.
Yeah,
like most people did. My favorite part in the previous movie was the gotcha. But so it looks like it looks like it's gonna be pretty violent stuff, and the cinematography looks beautiful. I'll give it that.
Did we really just get dinged for having the video up without audio? That's what I'm seeing here. We've detected copyrighted audio and video in your stream. Your stream may be temporarily blocked. Do you know how many people do reactions? So let us know if it just spaces out on you guys. Excellent connection. We're good. Okay. So where's Frank Riker? Frank Riker will be in here in about 35, 40 minutes or so. So, I had the luxury of both Jimmy Champagne and I basically had the scripts delivered to us. We weren't sure if they were real. We did the research on it. We put it out there not to be like, oh, hey, look what we have. Some people don't want to be spoiled. Believe it or not everybody loves spoilers. So we wanted to put it out there that, hey, the script's out. It looks legit. Pretty sure it is legit. If you don't want spoilers, now's the time to get off the internet. And I can tell you that after seeing this teaser, the script that Jimmy Champagne and I were already 99% was real, is 110% real. I could literally pick the scenes that are, I know they're quick, but if you go through them screenshot, you can pick where they are in the script. And so again, anybody who's trying to avoid spoilers, probably a good time to not be searching up Halloween stuff. What's your guys' expectations out of Halloween Kills? I know, Jason, you mentioned the mood and the atmosphere, and I think that's big because I do think it's going to be a switch up from what we got in 2018. But what are you hoping to get from this experience a little under a year from today?
I don't want that comedy in there. When Michael's on screen, I don't want that comedy with the one prior. That's one thing I did not like. I thought it really broke the mood and the atmosphere when there was cracking jokes and stuff like that. So when he's on screen, I'm hoping people are terrified. That would be the main thing. I'm more of a very much an OG Michael guy. I like when he's stalking, praying in the shadows. We'll probably get into this, but one thing the original Halloween 2, one thing that I've told people on my channel is that it's like it went to a Friday the 13th mode, which is ironic because Friday the 13th originally ripped off Halloween. Then it looked like Halloween went more Friday route on that movie. And that's one of the things I don't, when I want, see, Michael and Jason are two different animals. So not that I have a problem with Michael tearing shit up on screen and stuff like that, but I just really like the Michael who's there 1 minute, gone the next kind of thing. For me, that's my Michael.
I get it. I like a methodical, cerebral Michael Myers, but I also think there's room for him to be, a bit pissed off and a bit aggressive. He doesn't need to be full on Jason though. Nick, where are you with this, man? I know everybody has their different takes on Michael and which version they like and which version they don't like, but what are you hoping to get out of Kills?
So I agree with everything Jason said. I'm more of a purist at heart, but the realist in me has made peace with the fact that we're never going to see that again, just because audiences, if I feel like if the OG came out now, audiences, it would not sit well with audiences. They would find it slow and boring at first. So I get that the filmmakers got to kind of up the ante. I've kind of made peace with that. So for me, I know that we're going to get a quality film, whether you like it or not. I know it's going to be done with care and quality. That's what they've proven with 2018, even though I have some issues with it. So more quality is what I'm expecting. And, just get rid of the comedy, like Jason said, that the whole Julian thing, when Michael, is in the closet and Julian says, "Oh, shit." Is that an organic reaction that a kid would have of, some guy in a mask with a knife coming at his babysitter? Hell no. He'd be screaming. Like, I get it. Obviously, I think we can all agree that Danny McBride probably wrote that part. But for me, just, scale it down a little bit. And then I just want to kind of see a story about something that you mentioned last time I was on, Sean, a story about Haddonfield and how the events of 1978 have shaped the community of Haddonfield. And I think that's, from what I've heard from things you've said, I think that's kind of what we're going to get. So I'm just kind of interested in that aspect of the story. I
mean, it's not a spoiler at all. This movie, actually, I think Jason Blum came out and said it when the movie got delayed, that this movie is going to be, it might have been David Gordon Green. This movie's a movie about Haddonfield, and I can confirm, knowing basically the entire movie, it is a movie about Haddonfield. You're not, there's times where you're going to focus on certain characters, but in my opinion, this is the first ever Halloween ensemble movie, and it really does feel like that too. There's not one character that has significantly more screen time than all the rest. It's just not the way this one works. Are you guys for an ensemble, or where do you guys sit with that? I know some people want their Laurie fixer. They want the attention shifted to Karen and Allison, but this really is a Haddonfield movie. Thoughts, guys?
I like the ensemble cast. I think it's bringing some of those characters back. It would be interesting to see how Michael has affected these characters. But one thing people are not going to like, but I think it's time for Michael to have at Laurie Strode. And I'm talking like a brutal murder. I'm talking like going out like the original Psycho. Not in a shower, but something like that. Like, just tear her right up. Like, really get you unsettled. Unsettle you. Like, make you... I don't know if what Vincent just did with Never Hike in the Snow.
Yep.
One thing I'll tell you about that movie is that I was actually unnerved and I was creeped out by Jason in that film.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'd like to, let's get the nerves, get the tension built right up. And I think Laurie Strode really and maybe Allison, picks up the mantle or something like that. I don't know what route they're going to be going with. But I think that's what I would like to see.
I can tell you, if you're looking for the uneasy, creepy, stomach turning moments, and I'm not going to get into what the scene is, but there is a scene in this movie. Ray and I talked about it on a previous stream that has never been done in a Halloween movie before. And it just, there's something like, even I haven't visually seen it. I've only read it, of course, but reading it just, I had to be like, wait a second, did I read that right? And you reread it and it's like, oh God, that's fucked up. That's messed. That's, and some people, I think it's going to be one of those divisive things. But for me, I like feeling uneasy. It's one of the reasons why I love The Shining, watching The Shining late at night in a home alone. There's just something really, really creepy about it, especially if all the lights are off. But this scene in Kills, I'm telling you, it's something else. And I'm assuming people automatically are thinking, oh, he's talking about, Myers just wrecking shit. And it's not that at all. It's just, again, when people see it, if you have any sort of weak stomach, it's going to be just sort of chilling. Blood Red Sky sends in a super chat. This 2018 timeline reminds me of Rob Zombie's big time. Agree or disagree, guys? Nick, over to you first, man.
I get what he or she is saying, as far as the violence and the up in the ante, but it doesn't, because there's not the, at least for me, there's not the hillbilly dialogue and things like that. So I get what you're saying, but for me, it's not there yet. We got to remember that it's 2018 at this point. Things aren't going to be like they were 40 years ago. It's not going to be the same. But for me, Zombie's got such a distinct style and his timeline so distinct that 2018's not even close to there yet.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I didn't get that Rob Zombie feel at all from that. It's like you said, Rob Zombie's got a real certain style, and I don't get that. Nick's right, and they got to up the ante. And who knows if that original Halloween movie? Who knows what Michael? Let's say the movie continued, right? And we would have saw right after him in the ground there, lying there, what he would have done. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I think. All right, so I'm gonna go into. To me, this is not a spoiler because it's all over the internet and it has been for an entire year. And we've talked about it on this channel, and even they have talked about it, the makers. So, are you guys okay if I continue along this line of thought?
Just a second. Matt says his shit ain't working. He's in the chat.
I sent him another call. It just says it's ringing.
Yeah, he says his shit ain't working. That's happened to him a couple times.
Technology, man. He can try to download Skype on his phone if he wants and turn it horizontally, and we can get him on that way. It won't be the greatest quality, but it would be a way to get him on here for the last half an hour or so of this table. So to Jason's point, again, anybody who's spoiler sensitive, I don't think this is a spoiler because it's already out there and has been for a year. They've also talked about it. We've talked about it on the channel. Might want to mute for the next 3 or 4 minutes. So there's a flashback sequence in this movie. I mean, it got leaked well over a year ago because they recorded it basically on public streets that they had shut down. And it was an open set, which is always dangerous. I mean, open set's more realistic, but at the same time, that means if you're doing an open set, anybody who's walking by, they just need to whip out a phone. They can record whatever they want. In the script that leaked, I think it's 91 pages, 18 pages take place in 1978. And you've seen almost none of that in that teaser. So we are going back to the original. They have talked about that. It's been out there for a year. So, we're going to get to see a lot in 1978. I don't want to get into what, but for the diehards and the traditionalists, to know that we're going back to 1978 for that long, I think that's easily going to be their favorite part of the movie. And I love that the only snippet we got of it in the teaser, and you only get a little snippet of it, is Lonnie running in the street. You see him running past a car. He's in his red jacket, and I think it's the number 12 T-shirt. Might be a different number, but so we are going back to 1978. Did you guys? I'm assuming you two already knew that. Maybe you're hearing about this for the first time. But it's been out there for a while.
Yeah.
So, are you guys happy with that, or are you kind of, I know some people don't want them to.
As long as it doesn't change the first movie in any way, shape, or form. And I don't want to see him being arrested or like in great detail. You know what I mean? As long as they don't change the first movie at all. Like I heard Dave say on his channel that they were actually going to change the ending of the first movie. And John Carpenter says, "What are you doing?" No, and he had a big I'm paraphrasing Dave, but he on his channel he said, and I said, if they do anything like that, please don't. So keep the first movie intact. That's all I'm saying.
No, I agree. I absolutely agree. I think that I don't know why it'd be like. So we cover a lot of Star Wars content here on the channel. We won't be tonight. But it's like if someone said, you know what, I'm going to go back and do a new sequel to The Empire Strikes Back. But instead of Vader being Luke's father, spoiler alert from 40 years ago, they're just not going to be son and father anymore. And we're going to change the ending of Empire. Like, you don't do that. Don't fuck with the original Halloween. That's just, that's dumb. That's dumb. Nick, how about you, man? Flashback, are you excited for it? Or are you nervous that they might go to places they shouldn't?
I am very excited for it, but I'm even more nervous for it. It just scares me, like you said. Just kind of touching on the things that Jason was saying. I don't want to be watching 78 and all of a sudden be thinking, "Ooh, this is where Michael did this in the flashback," from Halloween Kills. And I'm not saying that they're going to do that. I have no idea. But just the possibility of them changing my fundamental viewing experience of watching when I'm watching the OG scares me. But that being said, I am really excited to see what they're going to do. I saw a clip or a still of, the mask and whoever, I can't remember the guy's name that's playing the shape in the flashback, but it looked pretty decent from what I saw. So if they get it right, it could be amazing. But if they get it wrong, it could, just piss off a legion of fans. So it's very tricky, and it's pretty ballsy of them to do it. But overall, like I said, I'm excited, but I'm also terrified.
No, I get that too. I mean, anytime you're going back and basically picking up where the original left off for a little bit, people don't want to see certain things, and people don't want to cross lines. Or don't want them to cross certain lines, and then other people just want everything. There's a rule of thumb here. You can't please everybody. Some people are going to love it. Some people are going to hate it. Some people are going to be just okay with it. Like when we approached the production on Haddonfield The Vanished, our Indiegogo fan film that's now filming, we knew we were going to have a lot of Michael Myers stuff that I think people would like, but we also had the story of Edward Bates to tell too, which is the creepy guy you see in the teaser. And there's going to be a lot of like Halloween traditionalists that see that part of the movie and just aren't for it. But we wanted to do it not because we were trying to appease everybody. It's just the story that we wanted to tell. And I think when you start trying to please everybody, you end up in more hot water than you would if you weren't. Blood Red Skies in with another super chat. Ripped off Rob's vision of Michael, tall and dirty. Well, I appreciate the super chat and the support of the channel like that. By the way, if anybody wants to send in a super chat, feel free to. Everything that comes in the channel goes back into the channel. Also, big thank you. I was told to say this today from Ray and Mary Jane, his wife. The love and the support that you have shown them over her multiple foot amputations she went through and her problem with diabetes. Guys, the love and support really helped her through just a horrific time, and your support is greatly appreciated. I almost forgot that because I forgot to make a note of it. So my comment to the super chat, again, it was ripped off Rob's vision of Michael, tall and dirty, and this is I'm just going to say how I feel. Tyler Mane, I believe, is much, much bigger than James Jude Courtney. Like, I don't think it's remotely close either. I think he has upwards of 50 or 60 pounds and 5 or 6 inches on him. Not to mention the coveralls they used in 2018 are drastically different than the Rob Zombie ones. We were looking at some Rob Zombie ones for our film, actually, and those things are heavy. Like, they are huge. And Ray's basically looking at me like, yeah, no, I'm not walking around in those. Sorry. It was like, okay, well, what are your thoughts, guys? Do you think any of the current Michael that we see in the 2018 film and upcoming Kills and Ends, is it all inspired by the zombie Michael?
I don't think so at all. I think you would ask the director. I most likely don't even like Rob Zombie's films. If I was to take a guess, I think James Jude Courtney. What is he, 6'3"? If I'm guessing,
he's 6'2" or 6'3", I believe. I think Tyler Main's 6'8".
Yeah, like the guy's like a wrestler. He's huge, like he's massively huge. So, and the dirty thing is, well, if you watch the movie before, he was getting bloodied, he was getting dirty, he'd be like that. That's good continuity. That tells me. That's all.
I'm gonna let everybody know right now that our Michael in Haddonfield the Vanished is very dirty, but that doesn't mean that it was inspired by a Rob Zombie's movie. I appreciate the look at it though, because I'll give Blood Red Skies this: the 2018 kill where he kills Sartain, that exact same kill is in Zombies movie. So I remember when I seen that, I didn't know if that was their nod to Zombies movie, because they basically had a nod to every movie in there. But that one was very zombie-ish. $1 million question here, guys. I'm going to ask everybody else this, and then we're going to move off Halloween for the back half of this segment. What do you want from Halloween Ends? How do you see this, whether you look at it as a trilogy or quadrilogy, depending on how you look at it? How do you see Halloween Ends ending? So, number one, what do you think is going to happen? And number two, what do you want to happen? Have at her, guys.
I'll let Nick go first.
Sure. So here's my thing with ending this. There is no good way at this point, in my opinion, to kill Michael. He's been set on fire multiple times. He's been blown down a mine shaft. He's been arrested and stolen by a man in black. He's been beat with a pipe by Paul Rudd. He's had his head frickin' cut off. So how do you kill him? If you want to end the series, how do you kill him and make it seem like it is, this is the final kill, I promise, of Michael Myers? There's really no good way to do it, in my opinion. So I think what they're probably going to do, I think you got to have Laurie sacrifice herself and, take down Michael at the same time somehow, whether it's, them both being set on fire or however they want to do it. I think that's probably how they will do it, just for maybe some symbolism. But yeah, I don't know what else you could do as far as killing Michael. To answer the second part, what do I want to have happen? I've gotten some shit for this, but I want Michael to win. Just kind of not walk off into the sunset, but just find a way so Michael wins. So that would be what I want. I don't have the specifics on how I would want that to happen, but let Michael win. That'd be cool.
I know how we do this. We start a petition online because, they always work, right? And then we get everybody to sign it saying that Michael has to win and Halloween Ends. If you haven't watched the channel enough and you're new to the channel, I'm someone who rolls their eyes at petitions because they typically never work or go anywhere. I want Michael to win too. And if he doesn't win, then I at least want the idea that he's still out there, have him vanish into the fog or something, or walk away. I don't want to see Michael Myers die. And I know, guys like Dave and Jimmy and some other people, don't want to see 10,000 sequels to this. And I personally don't either. I think Halloween Ends should be the end of this specific story. But I don't want to see Michael die. Let's not do that, because that seems like the expected thing. Like if we were, placing bets on this, I'm guessing, the most expected thing is going to be for Michael to die in Halloween Ends. Jason, where are you with this? What do you want, and what do you think are going to happen?
Well, what I want is, like I told earlier, I want to see, well, you just said it, Laurie being sacrificed. I would like that in there somewhere. But I want I want a lot of important characters to be taken out by the hands of Michael. Like, I really want this to unnerve people, like I said. And I want an ambiguous ending, like you were saying. Something like the first one, where he was there and then he wasn't.
Right.
What I think's going to happen, I hope they don't go an easy route. I hope they don't do that. But yeah, just an ambiguous ending, really, for Michael. And there's so much, I think, that can happen here. I'd actually like to see. I think this would be a good full circle if Tommy was the guy who kind of looked like he ended Michael, because he was the first one to see him. It would be kind of neat to see him take him out, but still have an ambiguous ending. I don't know if they're going to do that, because there's so many characters in this film that I don't know what they're going to do with all these characters. I think, I want to see. And from what I saw, Tommy, by Weird Science Kid, what's his name again?
Anthony Michael Hall.
Anthony Michael Hall. He looked pretty badass in that one photo.
The one report we've gotten time and time again, dude, for like almost the last year, and this is before we ever had our hands on a script, was Anthony Michael Hall absolutely steals the show in this movie. Now, that doesn't mean that he's all over the place. A lot of people rolled their eyes going, oh, it's the Breakfast Club guy again. And it's widely known that their first pick was Paul Rudd. Even though the timelines don't match up, they approached Paul Rudd. He was offered. He wanted to do it, and they couldn't get scheduling to work out. The role's big enough where it's not like Paul Rudd could just come on set for a couple of days and take off. So Paul Rudd was out. Then there was the option of Jake Gyllenhaal. That was explored. That didn't happen. Ended up with Anthony Michael Hall, and I've heard nothing but amazing things about him.
Well, he's a good actor. You know, don't typecast the guy. He's actually a good actor, from what I've seen in his work over the years.
I have no issue with him. No issue at all. Well, there you have it, guys. That is going to do it for our Halloween talk. And unless the chat brings it up, you can send in a super chat whenever you want, but we will get to some Q&A too. You don't just have to send in a super chat to get your questions answered on Fandom Empire. That's not how we are. Again, obviously, financial contributions helps the channel, but if you hang on about 10 minutes or so, we'll get some Q&A for Matt and Jason, and they can plug their channels, let us know what's going on with them. And Jason and I have a bit of a public announcement to make, too, before their time's
Yes.
up. Can't wait for that one. Alrighty, guys, let's turn to a topic that I know Toronto Freddie is going to absolutely love, Nightmare on Elm Street. So I am not the biggest Nightmare on Elm Street fan. Toronto Freddie's probably already planning a trip to my place right now to finish me just for saying that. I'm not the biggest Elm Street fan. I like a few of the movies, but there's a lot that they sort of get a bit corny to me. However, I absolutely want to see a fresh take on Nightmare on Elm Street by the right people. And, you know, I know everyone's like, well, it's got to be Robert Englund. It's got to be Robert Englund. I don't think Robert Englund's going to happen. I really don't. I think you can do Nightmare without Robert Englund, have a fresh take that's not the remake that we got a few years, or I guess 10 years ago now. Where are you guys at with Nightmare? Do you want to see it return? And can they do it without Robert Englund? Yay or nay?
Go ahead.
Nick. Go ahead, Nick.
All right. I want to see it again too. I think it is probably the most unique of, you know, some of the classic horror movies or classic franchises we've got. But the fact that it's so unique makes it so difficult to get right. As far as Robert's, I love Robert, but he's done. He's too old. Even if he wanted to, I don't think it would be. I don't know if it'd be in the best interest of a studio to have him do it, other than, you know, one movie nostalgia. But if the movie's a hit, they're gonna want to keep making more, and then what do you do? Then you're screwed. Then you're right back where we are now. So for me, I look, there's a lot of actors that can do Freddy Krueger justice. You know, the people that, you know, are saying only Robert, only Robert, only Robert. I totally understand that. Robert Englund's fantastic as Freddy Krueger. But this is going to be a new timeline. There's going to be a new Freddy. So I think if they get it in someone's hands that, you know, someone maybe like a Mike Flanagan, you know, who did Dr. Sleep, or someone like that, maybe, that you know, has the care and has the experience in, you know, unsettling people, I think it could really be successful. So we'll see what happens, but that's kind of how I feel.
Big Nightmare on Elm Street fan. If I'm being honest, this may get me kicked out of the chat, but I don't think Halloween as a franchise, probably not even in my top 5.
Ooh.
I love the original Halloween, but I don't think any sequel even gets back to that character. Not even close. 4 is good. I like 4, but I'm talking as a franchise, guys. I'm a Friday, then Nightmare, I would say, then Psycho. Those are probably my 3 in the horror genre. But I think Freddy needs to return. I think that's the character that needs to return in a big way.
Yep.
And Robert's had his time, and I love Robert Englund, just like Nick said. If anybody watched my top 10 horror movie video I did, Nightmare is in the top 3. It's one of my favorite horror movies. It's so unique. It's so unnerving. It's so unsettling till to this day for me. And I think we need... I think Nick's right when he says Mike... I love Mike Flanagan so much. But even more so, I think they need to do a gritty, almost low-budget look to that story. And as much as I don't like Hereditary, as much as I wasn't a big fan of Midsommar, but maybe something with a bit of style like that, so unnerving. Talk about that being unsettled a lot. That scene in the original when Tina's in the body bag and her hand just flops dead. That's unsettling. That's like still to this day to me. So he has to return it, and they just got to find an actor who can bring something different to it. But we see Freddy still.
I'd like to see them cast an unknown, like someone that just isn't super popular right now, hasn't been in very much, but just captures Freddy. Even a new take on Freddy. I just think when you pick someone known, who was the remake? Jackie Earle Haley, I believe.
Yeah.
And at that time, you know, he's coming off of Watchmen and a few other movies. He's too well known. It's hard to see him anything else. Sorry, one moment, guys. No, but yeah, it's hard to see him as anything else. So, you know what? I'll say this about Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm not the biggest Nightmare fan, but when I look at Nightmare and Halloween and Friday, and I think about what would make the best, like, I'm not saying Netflix, but like any streaming service thing, I think you could tell a really, really good, intriguing Nightmare on Elm Street story over the span of 10 episodes. You know, I think you could do it before he's actually Freddy Krueger, you know, and start from there and then get to the point where he is, obviously, and everything's going down. I just think that Nightmare lends itself to that sort of storytelling. And I mean, everyone's going to be go to the big screen. But I'd really love to see Nightmare on Elm Street as a 10 episode short. What about you guys?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It would kind of give them more time to create, you know, that unsettling atmosphere that Jason was talking about. They could really take their time. It'll create it where they can't use so much CGI and all this other bullshit for the dream sequences. It has to be real and gritty like the original. You know, in the later ones, you know, the dreams, especially like from 4 on, everything just got so sensational and all kinds of things. And if you remember the the original, it was really cool because, it's Tina dreaming she's down a dark alley. Nancy is dreaming, when she's in the school, and it just seemed more realistic than, Kristen or whoever the blonde chick that plays Kristen in part 4 is standing on a beach, and Freddie's putting on sunglasses and shit like that. So get back to that and let them take their time with a TV series. I'm with you on that.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Totally with you guys. Let's turn things over to the chat here for a few minutes, and then I'll get you guys to plug what's going on your channels, and Jason and I'll make a little announcement. I'm going to scroll back a little bit here. If anybody has any questions now for Jason or Nick, now is the time to do it. Melissa Todd asked who played Jason in the final chapter.
Ted White.
Ted White. Oh, yeah, Blood answered that. My apologies. What else do we got here? Blood Red says Robert's retired. Is Robert Englund retired? I could have swore he was still doing a couple of things. Maybe retired as Freddy, but I don't think he's actually retired, has he?
I don't think so. I think he does a lot of. Really got to search for his films now, I think.
Alrighty. What else do we got here? Kevin Bacon as Freddy. I see this a lot out there. I know he said he would like to, but apologies. I'm having all sorts of issues here with my phone. Thanks, Jade. I didn't hear what she said. Uh-oh. No, Freddie, pardon me, Robert, oh my God. Kevin Bacon as Freddy Krueger. Yay or nay, guys? I'm nay on that one, believe it or not. I think it's too well known.
I'm nay. Reason. And how old is Kevin Bacon anyway, too? If you want to start a franchise, Kevin Bacon's getting up there. He's got to be almost, 68, maybe. So it's got to be someone in, their early 30s, maybe late 20s, but somewhere in that time frame where they got some experience. But like you said, they're not well known. You're not going to look at. I feel like if I see Kevin Bacon, even in Freddy makeup, I'm going to see Kevin Bacon. So I'm with you on the unknown. No Kevin Bacon.
I think he can do it. I just don't think that's the right choice now. That you should have got Kevin Bacon 10 years ago. He's got to be. He's 62. I just looked it up. Kevin Bacon's 62.
Wow.
62. Hey, he's a damn good-looking 62-year-old man, if I might say so.
He's definitely got the creep factor. I will give him that. If you've watched other roles with him, he's got that creep factor. But I want a young 30-year-old kind of, actor. We need someone new. That's all. That's what it comes down to. We need someone new and not known. I don't know who the kind of unknown actors coming up are, so don't even know. That's one's going to take a lot of auditioning, I would imagine. That's one that's going to take a lot of thought, and there's got to be a big process to that one.
Yeah, no, I think I know people are just stunned with how long casting takes for certain things at times. If I were them, I'd be I would literally see so many people. I don't think it's one of those things where you can just shortlist it, Then again, hey, if I had to pick one thing out of anything when it comes to Nightmare, if you give me Mike Flanagan in charge of Nightmare, I'd be so for that. That dude is so talented.
I agree.
Agreed.
All right. So, I don't know if there's anything else in the chat here. I got so many things going on. I got Mike messaging me, and we've been waiting to see if we can get Matt in here. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. Alrighty. I don't see anything else question-wise. Toronto Freddy says, Zach Ward is Freddy. He inadvertently played the role in the bathtub scene in Freddy versus Jason.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Speaking of Mike, we mentioned this on our stream last night, but Mike has his film out, Halloween Hellfire. They made this for next to nothing. Mike basically did all the props himself, the costumes, the mask, everything. Halloween Hellfire is out today from from Mike, and you know him as Spooky Clemente in the chat, and he did this wonderful mask here. Awesome dude. Check it out, Halloween Hellfire. If we can get Mike on at the end of this thing, it would be great. He's working right now, so we'll talk more about his thing when we can get him on. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, a fun little announcement that we have is we're still doing some minor casting with Haddonfield the Vanished for some roles that need to be filled. And we actually have a major Haddonfield the Vanished announcement to make come next week, but we want to make sure all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. But what we can tell you is that man to the, I guess he'd be the right of the screen, left, right, I don't know. Jason Nike himself will be appearing in Haddonfield the Vanished. We spoke about it a few days ago. Thought we had something for him, and we finally got down to it and completed it. Dude, it's a pleasure to have you. Can't wait to work with you on set, man.
Yeah, I'm excited too. No experience here, but you know, I trust you'll show me the ropes, and I will do 100% effort. If anyone who's been following my channel at all from the beginning, I've done over 107 videos since June 10th.
Wow.
And dedicate and have worked hard for the last 4 months to even get to where I'm at now. And so one thing I said when I started my channel is that it's just another job. It's time to roll your sleeves up and go to work. And so that's the way I'd be anything I do. So I'm very honored that you thought of me. And who would have thought living in Oshawa would get me somewhere?
Right? Oh, man, the schwa. No, dude, it's going to be a lot of fun. Look, we have about half of our cast that are experienced. A few of them are extremely experienced. And then the back half of the cast, it doesn't have a lot of experience at all. And you position them properly. You put them in a position to succeed, and you'll be great, dude. I think what we have for you is going to be a lot of fun. And, I mean, we'll give this a little tidbit away. You're going to be on set with Michael Myers, man. That's going to be fucking awesome. It's going to be great.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be great, man. Yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited. I'm glad that it was announced, because that is one hard secret to keep in. I tell you that much. We have a few surprises coming down the pipeline for people, and for everybody that did a Indiegogo donation of any sort, doesn't matter the tier. We have a special little treat coming for you in the next couple of weeks to show our love for all you guys. So stay tuned for that. Nick, man, we've gotten to talk a few times now, man. It's a pleasure to have you. What's going on your channel, man? Anything new? Anything down in the pipeline you want to advertise?
Sure. So this October, and it's already the 30th, so I've been doing a video every single day in October, which sounded like a great idea when I came up with it in September, and then I got about halfway through the month, and I was like, oh, shit, man. I had going out of town, so I'm trying to pump out all these videos and schedule them and things like that. It just ended up being a lot of work, but it was really fun. Fun doing it, and I've really enjoyed the response I've gotten from a lot of my listeners and subscribers. So I'm really trying to just make the time to put out, especially after this month, to just put out consistent content. Just like Jason was saying, it's another job. It's another job. And what do you do at work? If you're someone like us, you give 110%. So for me, I'm just a fan that likes talking horror movies, likes talking Halloween. I need an outlet because nobody in my real life likes talking about it. I'm annoying people when I start talking about it. So I was like, maybe I should just, get on camera and talk about it and see what happens. So it's been a fun journey. Channel's really starting to grow the last couple months. Really appreciate your support and you having me on now twice. So it's been great. And now I'm actually really looking forward to Haddonfield the Vanished because I've got to see if Jason dies or not.
All I can tell you is what we have planned for Jason. He doesn't even know because we haven't even got to that point yet.
He's Wade's son, isn't
he? Well, fun fact: we do have relatives of Wade in the movie. So
nice.
That's a little callback that we're doing. But Jason's part is going to be really, really memorable. I promise you that. It's going to be fun. Can't wait to get to it. I have to ask you guys this, because if I don't, then my spouse is going to come back down and beat me up on camera. Nobody wants to see that. So what do you guys think, if you've seen it, of April Fool's Day, the movie?
It's been years, but I do know of the twist in it.
Yeah.
And I am, obviously being a Friday guy, I like Amy Steele. And she was in that. But it's been years, to be honest with you. I'd really have to give that one a rewatch.
I've only seen it one time. She introduced me to it, and I actually loved the movie. I absolutely loved it. It's I believe it's an 80s flick, and it's maybe even 70s, but I think it's 80s. It's so good. I love what they do in it. It was wonderful. Nick, have you seen April Fool's Day yet? If not, man, you got to give it a shot, dude.
It's funny you mentioned that. I have not seen it, and I believe I just wrote it down on a list. I saw some prior video you did maybe a couple weeks ago or something like that, and I saw you kind of raving about it. I was like, man, maybe I should check that out. And then I remembered, like Jason said, that it's got Amy Steele in it, and I think you're right. I think it's 83 maybe or something like that. But yeah, I know nothing about it. I know of no twist. I just know it's obviously set on the holiday. It was probably, in the slasher craze when they're trying to come up with different days that they can have people killed on and things like that. So yeah, I know nothing about the plot or anything.
Awesome stuff. All right, well, just so everybody knows, the stream is not ending. You'll see like a Haddonfield to Vanish sign for a few minutes while we get the next guests in here. But before we bring in the Slaughtered Lamb movie podcast guys and Darren and Frank and Tommy B, who's not a part of that, I just added him on the end. Jason, where can everybody find you? Where can they go to find your content, and what days that it's on?
So it's just Jason Nike. It's my name. And I do vinyl reviews. I do like my taglines, movies, music, and everything in between. But it's Jason Nike, the channel. And basically, my channel is passion, community, and respect. That's one things I preach. I also preach. I like to say this is where we celebrate and discuss movies. I'm not one to knock movies a lot, like to pick them apart and show all how shitty they are too much. And like my reviews are more like they're almost discussions, really. Even though I do got to give a rating at the end of the day, but I do vinyl reviews, movie reviews. I'll do some rankings. Sometimes I'll just get on there and talk about something. I do my show called J Live on Tuesdays usually, but October's been all over the place. Like last night I had Morgan Silva. She's the PR and marketing director of My Special Boy. So I had a talk with her last night. Right after this at 9:45 tonight, I'm doing From Dusk Till Dawn.
Nice.
So we're watching the original Friday, the original Nightmare, and the original Halloween. So It's an all-nighter. So I've been planning that out. And then Sunday, I launch Stream Demons at 9 p.m. on my channel, which is going to be Matt Facci, which he was supposed to be on here. But Matt Facci, Chris Snyder, Filthy Dan from Filthy Dan's Film Discussion, Destiny Faulkner, which she's an aspiring SFX makeup artist. I interviewed her on my channel on Tuesday. So it's all five of us. I'll be the host. It will be on my channel, but it's not my stream. This is going to be the Stream Demons. It's going to be a once a month. We've been working on it for like 2 months now. I had to form these relationships, get to know these guys, and I can tell you that they work just as hard as anybody else. And we're just all small channels who came together to give you horror content for and what we'll be doing is a slasher showdown. So We're actually going to go through the original 3 Friday, Halloween, Nightmare, and dissect them. We'll go through cinematography, the final girl, acting, the characters, and see what movie really is the best.
Well, there's a divisive topic right there. Wow.
We might get we might get it might get ugly. We don't know yet.
It happens. That sounds awesome, man. It sounds absolutely great. And your Dusk Till Dawn starts at 9:45 Eastern time tonight, correct?
Yes, 9:45 Eastern time. And the first movie I'm going to start right at 10 o'clock, which is going to go Friday. Nightmare will go into Halloween. Yep. Right through the early morning. And you know what? Darren will probably be waking up for coffee around that time Halloween rolls.
Oh man, Nick, what do you got coming up on your channel, dude? Anything big?
Well, you guys can find me at Nick Pusch's Horror Channel. That's Pusch. If you just search Nick Pusch, I should pop right up. Lately, I've been doing a lot of this is gonna sound weird, but a lot of like crazy ranking lists. Like for instance, ranking lists you don't see every day. Like the other day, I did top 10 Halloween spin-off character ideas and top 10 side characters and little things like that I'm trying to think outside the box, so it's just not like every other channel out there. I'm gonna have, starting in November, a set schedule where these 3 days a video comes out or a live stream comes out, but for now I just kind of want to relax a little bit for maybe 2 days after Halloween, and get through all the divisive election crap that we got going on here in the States. So then after that I'm gonna pick right up. But yeah, Nick Pusch's Horror Channel, a lot of crazy lists, a lot of talking shit about Halloween 5 and things like that,
I get it. I totally get it. Big thanks to Jason and Nick and Matt, who couldn't be here thanks to technology issues. Trust me, I've been there. Tech sucks. Thanks, guys, for being a part of this first hour, and I can't wait to have you guys back.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Yeah. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll get you, hopefully I can get you both on my channel soon, because I do a lot of, I always have a guest, and I got some big ones next week that I'll be announcing on Halloween.
Awesome, man. Well, I mean, we'll be seeing each other face to face here in a couple of weeks for a really, really important shoot. So can't wait for it, dude.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, thanks for thinking of me.
All righty, Nick, Jason, take it easy, guys. Happy Halloween.
See ya. Thanks, guys. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
All right, that's going to do it for Jason and Nick. The way this works, everybody, is we are about to introduce what's really interesting here is I have never spoke to Frank or Darren visually. I know what they look like. Well, sort of Frank. I think I've only seen one picture of him. But I know what they look like, and I mean, they're mainstays here at the channel. Frank's a mod in the chat, constantly kicking out all the trolls. Definitely appreciated. I don't think I actually have Frank on Skype yet, though. So we'll have to get Frank on my Skype in order to get him in here. But the way it's going to work, guys, is you're going to hear some music, and we will be back. Absolutely. And Luis, I see that you have questions. Okay. The best way to ensure your question gets answered is to send in a super chat, because we don't have time to answer everybody's question. I've seen your question about Christine a bunch of times. I'm not going to give you the answer that you want because I haven't actually seen Christine. I know, blasphemy. I haven't seen Christine, but it's on my list. I also haven't seen Black Christmas. It's on my list too. But without further ado, we're going to send you to a wait page, play a non-copyrighted music, and bring these two in, or three in. Keep forgetting about Tommy B. I could start humming the music. I could just be hum the Jeopardy theme.
Wow.
I see people. The audience doesn't see people, but I see people. I have one Tommy B. I have one Darren. How's it going, Darren?
Yeah, good. Excited to be here.
If we can get your counterpart in here, that would be gold.
I'm getting a lot of white noise. Is that
better?
Just mute my.
I think it might be on Tommy's end. Nope, Tommy's muted.
Yeah, I've been muted the whole time.
Mute yours for a second, Darren.
Hang on a sec.
All right, I think we just had you boosted a little too high. I think we are gold now as we await the arrival of Mr. Hot Tub.
Good to meet you, Tommy.
Yeah, nice to finally chat with you. I've seen you floating around Facebook. No, I've listened to your pods. Good stuff. Good stuff. Really like it.
Good.
I got about halfway through your latest episode. The audience can hear us right now. There's no way I can prevent that from happening. Actually, maybe there is.
Back.
Nope, just the four of us.
Who is this man you're talking about? I mean, was he a nice guy at least? Okay.
Frank, the lighting's good. I thought you dyed your beard for a moment.
I should have dyed it orange. Very well. Very well.
Hey, it's good to be here. It's we're at that really awkward time at the moment where we're actually 4 hours behind you, not 5. So it's 20 past 12 at the moment.
It goes from ceiling to floor. It's actually one of my tapestries. No, it's basically a quilt.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's got Michael from Halloween 2, Lori, and Dr. Loomis.
Apologies for the audio issues there, guys. That would be my fault. They could hear you. They just couldn't hear me. No, that looks spectacular. That's amazing. I wish I had room to have one big backdrop like that. And also joining us on this show, you know him from normally being on here. It's Tommy B. How's it going, man?
Where am I?
Where are you? I don't know. Where are you? Is it one of those nights?
I don't know. Where am I? No.
You are coming across a little low, though, just so you know.
Eat shit. How's that sound? Am I being louder now?
I got a message. What was it, last week? And someone's like, I forget who sent it, but they're like, "Are you and Tommy okay? Like, do you guys have issues that you need to sort out?" It seems like
okay.
And Tommy and I are talking about it the very next day, because I mean the person was legitimately concerned. Oh, we got Frank who's growing apparently. There we go. The person was concerned that we had some like personal issues going on. And it's not the case at all. Tommy and I just love to mess around. All right, so first up, gents, I got to ask you guys. I asked you privately, but I think everybody wants to know now that we're here on air, how did the Slaughtered Lamb movie podcast come to be? Where did the idea come from? And how did it get to where it is today?
Well, Darren and I met on eharmony.com. And...
Oh, man.
Well, no, what happened is that I met Darren on Dave McRae's channel. And since we both became mods, we winded up, almost like finishing each other's sentences with all the movies that we knew. And we thought it'd be fun just to get together and just talk movies. We didn't make it to go out to be a podcast. But we just thought we'd just add that just for us and let everyone else listen to it.
Yeah, we did a little trial run, didn't we? We sort of kind of got together one night, sat down and thought, let's see how this goes. Let's just chat. And we recorded it and we chatted for must have been 3 to 4 hours and slowly figured out that we just liked the same movies. And we decided to do it again, and we made a little list of what we wanted to talk about. And that's how the Slaughtered Lamb became to be.
Now, you guys have an intriguing list of movies that you guys are talking about. How did you come to have the list that you guys are covering?
I think we just drew out of a hat, figuratively speaking. We would say, I think we would actually read each other's comments in the live chat, and we would say, "Oh yeah, we like that movie. I like that movie too," and that's how we actually pick our list. Darren and I really don't disagree on the movies that we seen in our past and during our childhoods, or even recently what we watched. I think it's just we just throw in a movie title out there and see if we want to both do it and discuss it.
Yeah, we kind of sort of figured that the internet is full of streams and YouTube channels that kind of talk about a lot of the same thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. We like to listen to streams about Halloween and Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street too, but we wanted to sort of talk about the movies that maybe don't get talked about very often. And, you know, admittedly, a lot of them go back to you know, our childhoods and things back in the, well, for me, 70s and early 80s. But yeah, I mean, every film that we've done so far has been before 1987. I think we've recorded 5 episodes now, and all of them have been before 1987. So it's probably going to be a little while before we get something that we both agree to do that's post 2000, I would imagine.
Well, I don't see it being Scream anytime soon. So, Intel Wilden with a super chat. Riker and Darren, great to finally see your faces. Tommy B, sit up straight.
Hey, Intel, what's up?
So I gotta ask, Frank, I'm gonna put you on the spot here. I've never gotten a straight answer from you out of this. Why the hate for Scream? I'm assuming you've seen them in order to hate them.
Scream to me is basically like getting shopper mail for a grocery store every Friday that's 40 miles away. It comes to your mailbox every Friday. It's as stupid as those newspaper advertisements. For me, the first Scream was okay. I'm not knocking the first one, but the problem is it's on a lot of people's Mount Rushmore of horror icons. But it's the same damn mask, but always a different person. I mean, at least Jason, Michael, Freddie, Leatherface, they're all the same person. But no, I mean, do they sell these outfits at an all-size-fits-all costume shop? It's just redundant as shit. I mean, next, you know, you're never going to see some 4-foot little person in a Scream outfit. Because you could probably pick them out, you know, who it is. You know, it's just
I agree.
They're all the same. Now I'm going on a fucking rant. You know,
Perfect.
They're all
Keep going.
the same size. There's no breasts. You don't see a bulge in the pants. You know, it's the same mask. It's stupid. If you guys like it out there, it's fine. It's fine. But Scream to me is just pointless. It's pointless as in Friday the 13th Part 5, where it was a different Jason. That's the ending where everyone's like, oh shit, it wasn't Jason at all. That's how I feel about Scream. It's pointless.
It was great when it came out. I felt that, you know, when it came out, I just thought, this is fantastic. The slasher movie's back, and because it paid such a tribute to Halloween, I was on board with it straight away. I think over the years, and I look back at that first one, the first 20 minutes is decent, but I think the rest of it and the rest of the movies, it's fucking friends with knives. That's all it is.
Tommy, thoughts on Scream, man? I don't think we've talked much Scream. Have you even seen Scream? I know you're new with
I haven't seen it recently enough to really talk much about it. That's about what I'll leave it. I will say that I've seen probably the first movie a handful of times before, and I generally enjoyed it, but it's been a few years. I think I need to do a revisit real soon now that I'm really more immersed in all these different horror subgenres and franchises and what have you. But yeah, Frank, tell us how you really feel. Like, holy shit.
You want me to do it again?
yeah, why the hell not?
Man, fuck Scream.
We got an hour to kill
here. Sorry, getting messaged out the ass here. I put it down, but it's kind of important. Not to say that anybody that here is not. So this is what I remember about seeing the first Scream. I'm 32 years old, so when was this first Scream? 95 or 96? One of those 2 years, I believe. I don't have it in front of me. So anyways, not old enough to go see it. And I remember our neighbor, my parents' friends, was a huge Drew Barrymore fan. So obviously the marketing for the first Scream movie has a bunch of Drew Barrymore marketing going on with it. She's on the poster, etc. And I just remember my parents and my neighbors coming home that night, and my neighbor was bitching endlessly about how Drew Barrymore was killed off in the first 10 minutes of the movie. And but you know what? I think that's the best part of the movie. Like that opening sequence, I dug. I was totally for it. And from that point on, in my opinion, it's just one constant slope downhill. And to Frank's point, like, these are all supposed to be different killers. And I believe, excuse me, every one of the Scream movies has 2 killers but one. I think it's 2 killers in every movie except for the third one. I could be wrong on that. But how is it that all these people manage to kill all these other people and they're tripping over everything? Like, they can't run 10 feet without falling nose first into the ground. It's like if there's a couch in the room, Ghostface is falling over it. Like, just run into a room with couches and throw the couch at him. You'll be fine. I don't know. When I was younger, I liked Scream, and now I just can't take it seriously. It literally seems like a spoof.
It's like an R-rated Benny Hill sketch.
Benny Hill.
Well, here's the real question then. What do you enjoy more, Scream or Scary Movie?
Oh.
Scary Movie's a lot better than Scream.
I haven't seen Scary Movie in years, many years. I like. Isn't the first one just a ripoff of Scream 1? Isn't that basically their shtick?
Yeah, basically. I tried to watch Scary Movie recently. Couldn't find anything on any of the streaming services, and we got most of them were cord cutters. So the only thing we dug up was Scary Movie 5 on Netflix, and I think it was on for 10 minutes, and 5. I shut it right back off, and I hated every minute of it.
Hang on, they did right 5 movies? Oh
Scary
my
Movie? I think
God.
More than 5, aren't they? Or is 5 the highest?
I have no idea.
They made more scary movies than they made fucking Scream movies.
Yeah.
Wow.
I tell you something, I am looking forward.
It was down to shitter. It was on and then it was off, and I hated every minute of it I saw. It was it didn't stay on.
Go ahead.
I am looking forward to the new Scream film. I think that purely because of the directors, that's all. Because I really dug Ready or Not. I thought it was great, and if they can pull this off, like, not saying that David Gordon Green pulled it off, but if they can bring some of that nostalgia back, certainly from the first 20 minutes of the original, then I'll watch it.
So is there a chance that we get
Frank's just fired me. Frank's
right?
looking for a new podcast partner now.
I was just thinking to myself, so are you going to make Frank go see Scream 5 so you guys can talk about it on the podcast one day? That'd be epic just to hear that adventure.
Darren, we're going to have a talk. I believe we need a break. But as my wife Sarah would say, Scream insists upon itself, just like The Godfather. It just thinks it's that, better than sliced bread. And I'm not going to see part 5. And no, you couldn't drag me to see part 5. I won't even watch it, free illegally, which I don't do.
I think we're going to have to do a bit of Clockwork Orange treatment on you to get you to see it, Frank. I think the old needles in the eyes, and I think Sean's right. We should do it.
You could do it.
I would love to have him have Frank mic'd up going in to see Scream 5, just have it tucked under a jacket or something, and just to hear his reactions to it would be
just commentary in the actual theater, just going, "This is a piece of shit. This is a piece of shit." Oh, great! Nev Campbell's still alive.
Tell him he's dying. So we said we were going to ask everybody this. There's a couple of things we're asking everybody tonight, and Jade's going to come down here and kill me if I don't get this question out to you guys soon. Have you guys seen April Fool's Day? And if you have, is that a movie you guys would cover? Because I don't hear a lot of people talk about it. I quite enjoyed it. Thoughts on April Fool's Day, if you've seen it?
Yes, I have seen it. I've seen it a few times. Frank?
Yeah, I've seen it a couple times. I think that's a movie we can definitely cover. I mean, it's not talking about, but I mean, as far as I think the people who haven't seen it will watch it and actually say that wasn't bad. It's part of that 80s slasher type, but it's got a pretty neat twist at the end.
I think it was ahead of its time.
Right.
It was certainly ahead of its time when it first came out, and I must admit, when I was a kid, I was probably about 13 when it came out, and I felt cheated by it because I wanted this kind of big, sort of Halloween Friday picture, and it turns out not to be that, and so I felt cheated by it. But then I think Dave did a watch along a year or two ago, and we watched it. I watched it a couple of times there before the watch along. I actually really liked it. I thought it was ahead of its time and stands up really well.
I mean, Amy Steele and Biff Tannen. I mean, come on, it's going to be a good movie.
I was worried when Jade showed it to me for the first time. I was sitting there thinking, okay, well, this is going to be a bore fest. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was stunned, utterly stunned. I do think it's worth watching.
It was kind of meta before meta was a thing.
Oh, absolutely, definitely. There's a lot of fourth wall breaking, if that's one way you want to put it. So here's the question that every YouTuber on the planet is doing right now. What did you guys think of that 37-second teaser that we got for Halloween Kills? Did you like it? Where are you guys at with that?
I was fine with it. It was, to me, it was more than the original initial 30-second teaser we got prior to this one. It showed a little bit more, but not too much. I could tell that, when Michael does that first initial kill, or even if it is a kill, we see the blood splatter across the screen. You could tell it's going to be that type of movie, especially with the angry mob that you see. I think it's going to be a good movie. I think it's going to be absolutely brutal, just like your channel and everyone else is saying.
Yeah, it's going to be something. Can't wait. Darren, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, apart from having to sit through 3 hours of Jason Blum waffling about a load of movies that don't interest me, I thought it was fine. I think it's really all they could do at this stage, being a year out from the release, and they don't want to kind of give everything away at this stage, I guess. What was it, 37 seconds, I think? There's a lot of padding in there for 37 seconds, a lot of establishing shots, and I think a voiceover that Jamie Lee Curtis must have recorded especially for that trailer. But I just couldn't believe what happened afterwards. Frank and I were chatting to each other afterwards, and every single social feed that I had just filled up. It hit Variety, it hit Deadline Hollywood, it hit, every single YouTube channel were slowing it down and analyzing every fucking frame. And I just thought, I couldn't be, I love Halloween to bits, but I couldn't be bothered. I honestly couldn't be bothered to analyze every fucking frame of that 37-second trailer. I watched it and I thought, yeah, this looks cool. I can't wait. But unfortunately, we've got another year.
Yeah, and it's going to be a year. I can't believe that there are still people that think somehow they're going to be like, oh, surprise, tomorrow, here's Halloween Kills on VOD. It's not happening. And there's a large number of people that think that that's a realistic possibility. And with all due respect, I have absolutely no idea where their head's at thinking that. It just makes no sense whatsoever, never has. Quite frankly, never will. Sorry, go ahead, Darren.
The release would have been pretty much scuppered anyway. The UK, the whole of Scotland, Wales, and Ireland are closed at the moment in terms of cinemas. And we've just learned tonight that I think Wednesday we're going into a national lockdown again.
Oh,
So
wow.
it would have been disastrous to release it in this country when they were planning to.
No,
Yeah, in a VOD, the only way they would actually release a VOD, knowing that one person is going to copy and it's going to be seen by at least 10 people and be released on illegal sites, they would have to charge one person at least $200, knowing that maybe 1 in 4 are gonna watch that. So it doesn't make any sense. I mean, to say, they did it with the Bill and Ted route. They didn't do it with Tenet. Tenet actually went out in the theater, which I haven't seen yet. And I think it's just people, even though the theaters are still opening up in the U.S., nobody, I don't think, wants to take a chance right now.
No, you're absolutely right. It would be, I mean, for the lack of a better term, suicide. I mean, you can't make a movie work right now in cinemas. It's just not possible. I thought when the Bond information came out that there was a chance a sale could happen. I mean, from what I understand, that's been dismissed now. But I think what was the tag on that? Like $600 million? Was that what they wanted to
600? Yeah.
To do Bond? Like that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Obviously, Halloween.
It's a lot of money, but when you think about it, that's pocket change to somebody like Apple, who had kind of desperate for subscribers at the moment. So, that sort of figure doesn't surprise me. But where do you go from there after that with the next film? Does that mean Bond's destined to be on streaming from now on? So, I think they made the right decision. We need to preserve that theatrical experience, and keeping it in the cinema is a good thing.
I love going to the theater. It's my favorite way to experience a movie. Jade and I mean, we haven't this year, obviously, but we love to go all the time. We don't see every movie in theaters, but 10, 12, 13 times a year, we'll go see a movie and thoroughly enjoy it. But if Bond would have sold for that price, I think it would have made the likelihood of any movie being able to be sold to a streaming service a realistic possibility. Like, obviously, Halloween's not going to pull in $600 million. It's just not. But, if someone writes them a check for $150, then, maybe they consider that because it was made for considerably less than that. But I'm really glad that we're not going that route, because even though we have to wait, I want to experience it in a movie theater. Some people don't care if they see it in a movie theater. I know everyone's like, release it on VOD. Why didn't you release it on VOD? Not taking the business side of things into account, but like, doesn't anybody want to preserve the theatrical experience anymore? I don't know if you guys bring your families to the movie theaters, obviously pre-COVID, but for me, it's a big thing. Where are you guys with that? Do you like going to the theaters? Do you not care how long you have to wait as long as you get to experience, now in IMAX for the first time?
I love going to the theater. I have yet to take my 2 kids to the theater because I think they're just too young right now to go. I'm not one of those parents who take a 4-year-old to a theater and have him sit through an R-rated movie and have him cry just because I can't find a babysitter. I'm not one of those. But I love going to theater because I believe it's one of the few places for an hour and a half of your life, nothing else exists. Whatever you got going on, whether it's family problems, health issues, problems at work, for those few minutes and more than an hour in some cases, everything is gone and you're focused. And the other medium I think you can actually go with that is with a book, but even that outside forces could be distracting. But yeah, I love going to theater, and hopefully for what's going on with the trouble with AMC theaters and other theater chains, hopefully they can bounce back for this. I don't want to see another GM bailout, which it may have to happen because there's a lot of theaters that employ a lot of people. But we definitely need the theaters to come back, and I'm going to be probably one of the first people in line to go see any movie at this point.
Tommy, how about you? I don't think you're, correct me if I'm wrong, you're not a big movie theater guy, are you? Or is that still where you prefer to see a movie for the first time?
Nah, I'm a few times a year. I've generally always been. It's not that I don't like it. It's just it's never been something I've ever done. I guess when I was younger, we'd go up to maybe half a dozen times at the height of things, but not nearly as much as you say you go. You know, none of us knows what the future is going to look like for the industry. I'd really like to hope that things can continue in their current form. I just also can't help be skeptical of that. I feel like no matter what happens, because of everything, because of how long the industry's been brought to its knees, you're either going to have a new name hit the town to open some theaters back up, because there are plenty that are already shuttered for good for the time being. My area included in that. We have no active theater. Even if they want to reopen them, we have no active theater anymore. Beyond that, we've gotten so used to staying home more, doing more things from home. Not only do I feel like there's going to be a sense of discomfort with going to things like theaters, not on everyone's part, but on some folks, there's going to be a desire, an inclination, whatever, to want to consume more via VOD, via whatever, something that doesn't involve hitting up huge public places, people surrounded by it, blah, 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 blah. Even if we're looking a couple years down the line.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't have a crystal ball. I wish I did. I wish I knew that, there was a definite date where it's like, yeah, we're all going back to the movie theater. But I have no idea. I'm not someone who pretends to know either. I hope that we can all go back to some sort of normal life soon. Like, even doing Haddonfield to Vanished, like, I can't imagine what Dave's going through on It's Me, Billy, because we're much smaller than he is. And, like, just the headache of trying to get everybody in the same spot, trying to figure out social distancing measures, trying to make sure that everybody's healthy and good to do it. It's not easy. So I can't imagine how many I's there are to dot and T's to cross on these huge productions. Darren, are we allowed to talk about your job or no?
I can tell you a little bit about it. I mean, I've been in the film industry for 31 years now. So I was officially a veteran last year, which was pretty cool. So I'm all for preserving the theatrical experience. So I work in film distribution and the kind of back end of post production. One of my jobs is to work with the ratings boards and make sure that we get the right ratings for our movies. So it's really important to me that cinemas continue to stay open. It's a really tricky time for everybody at the moment. It's a chicken and egg scenario, but hopefully we'll all get through this. And come next summer, we'll have a huge backlog of movies to show everybody. So it's going to be fun. Hopefully.
How much have you seen, like, firsthand, like, just how badly this has affected the industry, and how much just your day-to-day job has changed during this time?
It's changed massively, because obviously some of those those movies that the bigger movies that people want to see are being moved constantly, and so companies are releasing smaller movies to try and keep things going in between, but it's just too much to gamble at this stage. So and with the UK, as I say, going into lockdown next week, it's just tough on everyone. There's only so, as Frank was saying, there's only so many bailouts that you can get, and that cinema companies can get, and hopefully they can hold on until we can see this through till, I don't know, when is it supposed to? I think in the UK for sure they reckon that March we'll kind of come out the other side of it. So hopefully next summer is going to be good for everybody in terms of the theatrical experience.
Man, I wish we had a date up here. They aren't saying crap up here in terms of when we, vaccine and all that talk. Like, it's just basically, okay, let's keep practicing social distancing and, wait till there's something. So there's not a whole lot of information available up here other than I know it's a little tighter up here than most places in the States. But it is what it is. We only have you guys for another 15 minutes or so, but while we have you, I have to ask you guys, best and worst. I'm sure you guys have both commented in the chat at some point what your answers to this would be. But what's your favorite Halloween sequel? Because, I mean, everyone's just going to go to the first movie for the most part. Not Frank, to my understanding, though. I think Frank and I have the same favorite Halloween movie. But what's your favorite Halloween sequel, and what's your least favorite Halloween sequel, and why? Let's let the audience know how you two feel. They've heard me talk enough about this crap.
My favorite Halloween sequel of all time will always be Halloween 4. I think that has the best atmosphere out of any sequel of any Halloween sequel of all time. It's the best return of a slasher of all time. It's also a little bit close and dear to my heart because that's the first horror movie my mother took me to, and I was only 7 years old, and she took my brother along too, and he was 5, and she kept on saying every time, since we got a ticket to the theater, if it's too scary, we'll leave. If it's too scary, we'll leave. Is it scary? I hope it's not that scary. Is it scary enough? Is it not that scary? And I was just like, Mom, this is fine. This is awesome. And I think that is definitely my favorite Halloween sequel is Part 4, just because of the atmosphere and also because nostalgia for me. The worst Halloween sequel is definitely Rob Zombie's H2. I mean, if we're going to do that kind of off-rearing of the timeline of the franchise, yeah. I mean, to me, that's an artsy-fartsy movie. There's a horse in it who certainly, Sherry Moon Zombie likes the company of the horse rather than her husband Rob for some reason, because she's dragging that sucker around everywhere. Yeah. I have no idea what the reason why the horse is in there. Michael has half a mask, and it just doesn't make any sense. There's really not much killing in it, except for Danielle Harris finally getting killed. Who's I know a lot of people love Danielle, but she's not one of my tops. But yeah, H2, definitely Rob Zombie's H2. It should go. It's a movie that you should watch once if you have it, and then burn it. And don't even bother recycling, just burn it.
Man, I hate to admit it. I think that's the worst Halloween movie too. I think it's worse than Halloween 5. I think it's worse than Zombie's first movie. But it's one of those movies that's so bad that I'm 420 friendly, so I don't mind going and doing that, sitting down and watching Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 and just laughing because of how bad it is. Like, I don't know what it is. Malcolm McDowell in that movie kills me. I have to take a picture of this. In our bathroom, right beside the toilet, we have a picture of Malcolm McDowell in Halloween 2, and it's quoted, "I sell the sizzle, not the steak." And when my in-laws came over the first time, my father-in-law comes out just like, "What the hell is that?" I'm just like, it's where it belongs. Darren, how about you, man? What are your answers on this one?
I think for sure Halloween 2 for me. I just think in terms of consistency, I think that it follows on from Halloween 1 very neatly. I think there's a couple of things that niggle me about it. It's certainly the stunt for why they had to reshoot him falling out of the off the balcony. I have no idea, because it looks dumb. He's obviously backing himself up a ramp. There's one thing that no one ever picks up on in Halloween 2 that niggles me every time that I see it. And it's that transition between Halloween 1 and Halloween 2. When Donald Pleasance runs out of the house, his jacket is different. The collars, the lapels, are a completely different shape and size to what they were when he was upstairs. Now, it's a tiny little thing, but I guess as Chris Nelson would say on his channel with Sean, what's his name?
Clark.
Sean Clark. That's my get off my lawn moment. It really pisses me off that they couldn't get there. They got everything else right. They got Dean Cundy's photography right. I think Dick Warlock as Michael, apart from the shape of his head, I think is really admirable. But that fucking jacket pisses me off every time he walks out of the house. So yeah, Halloween 2 is my favorite. Is my favorite sequel for sure. Worst sequel, I would, or worst in the franchise, I would probably say Rob Zombie's Halloween. Because if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have Halloween 2. So I blame Rob Zombie's Halloween for Halloween 2. I remember going to the cinema to see it with my girlfriend, or was my girlfriend at the time, now my wife. And, she likes Halloween as much as anybody else. But we watched that film. We watched it with our jaws wide open. The language, the profanity, it was everything a Halloween movie wasn't. And so I just, I could watch Halloween Resurrection with a big smile on my face on a fucking loop for days, rather than watch Rob Zombie's Halloween.
That's saying something. That is saying something.
And H2, Halloween 2, 81, has the hot tub in it.
It does.
Gotta love the hot tub.
Okay, so let's get rid of the myth here first. I mean, it might not be a myth. Frank, do you in fact own a hot tub?
I own a jacuzzi.
Well, that's close enough. That's more than me. So, oh man, I wish I could talk about something. I'll have to wait. We'll have to have you guys back on.
What's the difference?
Well,
hot tub usually you have to keep outside or in a separate part of your house. A jacuzzi you can keep in the same part of your bathroom.
Is it a heat thing?
But it's more of a jet and bubbles. So, I mean, with a hot tub, it's the constant,
right? Yeah.
Constant heat. And it's pushing different types of. Why do I know so much of this, Tommy? Why did you ask me this question? We're going into let's move on. It's a jacuzzi. It's
like we're legitimately talking about what the difference between a jacuzzi and a hot tub is with Frank on the show. It's perfect. It's a Seinfeld moment.
You see, with us, you get such a variety, Sean.
Man,
you can fit more people in a hot tub.
Frank can talk to you about his bus ticket collection if you like.
Oh my God. Are bus tickets still a thing? Two things. I've never noticed that the Loomis Halloween 2 thing. Now the next time I watch, I'm going to be looking for it. But I totally buy it because when Tommy and I used to be at a different channel, Channel 1138, we did basically all Star Wars content, and we got out of seeing The Last Jedi, and one of the first things I just couldn't stand is it's supposed to pick up right after The Force Awakens. And if you look at Luke at the end of The Force Awakens, and then literally at the beginning of The Last Jedi, where it's only supposed to be seconds have passed, his hair is completely different. The only way I can describe it is if you watch the end of The Force Awakens, it has like almost this awesome comb-over look, like he's, just this almost an Obi-Wan look, a badass Jedi. And then you go to the beginning of The Last Jedi, and it's just sort of everywhere and messy and terrible. And it's just, I know it's such a little thing, but it's like, okay, so we get Luke, who's a hermit who's doing nothing, but at the end of The Force Awakens, we get, determined, emotional Luke, and it just seemed like it didn't line up at all, and so those things pissed me off a lot. So I get the Loomis thing. I totally get it.
Well, Sean, we call that the Force Fro.
Oh, man. It is something.
Let's not start talking about hair.
I keep bugging Tommy that he's got the Anakin Skywalker cosplay look going on. His hair is literally the shape of Anakin's from the prequels.
He is.
It totally is. Absolutely. He hates it when I say that, but it's fine. So let me ask you guys.
I hate you.
Outside of Halloween, which we talk about more than enough on this channel, what's your favorite horror movie, guys, and why? Like, is there a movie outside the Halloween universe that you're just absolutely in love with that maybe people would be surprised about?
Darren, you can go first on this. I'm actually thinking.
Okay, I have two films, and I'm not a huge fan of foreign language films, but sometimes you have to kind of go elsewhere to try and find something of real quality. So two films that I absolutely love, and one's been remade already, and it was shit, and the other one's about to be remade by the Americans. So the first one's a French movie called Inside, which has very little dialogue in it. And it's basically about a woman who has a car crash, and she crashes into another woman who consequently loses her baby. And that woman then stalks her in her house. And it's just woman against woman in the house. It is absolutely terrifying and one of the most goriest films I've ever seen. In fact, it felt wrong watching it. It was remade a couple of years ago in the US, and it was dog shit. It wasn't worth looking at all. So that was the first one. Second movie is a Korean film called I Saw the Devil, which is about a cop whose wife gets killed by a serial killer, and the cop sets off to kill the serial killer. But what he does is he catches him, tortures him, lets him go again, and this cat and mouse chase carries on. And then eventually the serial killer catches the cop, tortures him, and they both end up in this huge fight for the whole movie. That's now been remade by Adam Wingard, the guy who did The Guest, and what was it? Oh, You're Next. I'm really looking forward to see what the US remake of that is about. So those are two of my favorite horror films. If you were to say a US horror film, then I've got to go with, hands down, Halloween. Second, probably The Fog to me.
I've seen The Fog one time, and it was many, many years ago. And I'm not talking about the remake with the guy from Smallville either.
I worked on that movie.
Frank's shaking his head. What are your picks, Frank?
So I just thought about this, and I've actually talked to Darren earlier about a movie that we might discuss, is Dead Alive, a.k.a. Brain Dead from Peter Jackson. I absolutely love that movie. I can watch that no matter where I am. I think it's hilarious. I think the special effects are great. I mean, corny, but, they're great. And it's considered probably one of the goriest movies of all time. And this is coming from a director who's an Oscar winner. This movie has everything: comedy, horror, a little bit of slapstick. It's a good zombie movie, and everyone knows how I feel about Scream. It's the worst horror franchise ever. But if I have to pick something besides horror that's horror-esque but maybe sci-fi related, it has to be The Predator. I could watch The Predator numerous times on loop, even with one eye open when I'm sleeping, or trying to sleep.
The Predator? Predator? Or
No, just Predator. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger's Predator.
Right, okay.
Yeah, don't correct me.
My heart skipped a beat
then. But I think Predator is a top-notch sci-fi action film. Those are my two tops.
Awesome stuff. We don't have too much time with you guys, so I want to get these in. I had, I just lost it, so we'll go to the chat here. They have some questions. Frank, you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but Jade wants to know if your real name is Franklin.
No.
It's just Frank. Just
Frank.
Jade's grandfather's name is Frank. So, small world. Zach asks, Frank and Darren, thoughts on the series Star Wars The Clone Wars? It's personally my favorite Star Wars content. Seen it, not seen it? Where are you guys with that?
Is that the cartoon thing?
It is, yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen it. Sorry, Zach.
I've seen bits and pieces of it. So I think it's good. It branches between the Clone Wars and the Revenge of the Sith, where we see a little bit of more of Anakin and more story. So yeah, it's good. I like it. When it's on, I'll watch it.
Tommy, thoughts on the Clone Wars?
Haven't I talked enough about Clone Wars?
It was a little tongue in
it's
cheek
only
there.
it's only like my life, another love, and yada yada yada. Nah. I saw the Clone Wars movie. That was the first however many episodes before the series. I saw that in a theater. It was great. It
was great. Oh God. It was terrible.
It was nowhere near as good as well, that's a discussion for another day.
I was gonna say you're not gonna say
movie versus the sequel trilogy.
Ugh.
But I was in middle school. It was no live action prequel or OG trilogy, but it was decent. I liked what they stitched together there. And the Clone Wars as a series only amped up more and more. My biggest and kind of only complaint was I didn't exactly jive well with the whole continuity thing. I know that's an angle they were going for, jumping around a story a week, yada, yada, yada. I kind of prefer a narrative like what they offered in Star Wars Rebels.
That's a George Lucas decision. Absolutely. He wanted the weekly serial Flash Gordon style thing. Okay, Toronto Freddie asks, Frank, are you secretly in ZZ Top?
I am actually. I'm the one who trims their beards and gets the bubble gum out of it.
Oh God, wow. There's a horrifying sight. Darren, because you're from the UK, he has to ask this, but do you listen to Jungle DNB? I don't even know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
I've no fucking idea what that is. Is it a band?
I have no idea. Freddie, what is it, man?
We're not big on rock music in the UK, and that's something I hate about the UK. And so every time I come to the States, I love switching on a radio in the US and hearing just general rock music blasting out. So I'm a big kind of 70s, 80s rock guy. What did he call it? Jungle D&B.
I've never heard of it. No idea.
I love how you say the UK isn't big on rock, but if I go to my Spotify playlist, I can dig out a handful of folks who are out of the UK.
Rolling Stones,
absolutely.
Beatles.
Absolutely. It's just a shame that no one listens to it anymore. You switch on a radio over here, and it's just some contrived Simon Cowell crap, you know.
It's nothing but the Beatles, right?
We don't even get that, you know. It's
Jesus.
It is just literally like, what's a girl? The Miley Cyrus and bloody
Ariana Grande.
Yeah, all that crap. I've got to go underground to listen to a station that will play me some Zeppelin or I don't know, some Metallica. So you certainly wouldn't get Metallica on the radio over here.
Wow.
In fact, Metallica played a concert as part of a huge charity concert, which was put together by the royal family about 10 years ago. And they had all these artists on. It was Elton John and even the Foo Fighters. They were on there. 4:00 in the afternoon, Metallica came on. And they said, okay, thanks very much for that. We're now going to go to this. And they played a charity video over the top of Metallica, because they deemed it too intrusive for TV on that day. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, that's where I'm at. I'm a rock guy.
Yeah. Thanks for the insight. That's insane. Before we jump back to those questions, I gotta pitch one to Frank here.
Oh boy.
All right. Your new nickname is going to be Scream Hating Frank, and I'm going to play with that make it a little worse. There's gotta be something worse than Scream. Come on. Human Centipede. There's
Whoa!
something worse.
Hey, don't hate on the Human Centipede. Come
I would
on.
gladly
So
go to a
look,
buffet
the first
watching
one
Human
was
Centipede.
okay, but the second one was utter shit. No pun intended.
Hang on. Did I just hear you would go to the buffet watching Human Centipede? Was that right?
Absolutely. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Oh, wow. I haven't even had dinner yet. I'm not sure I want it.
That doesn't insist upon itself, Tommy.
Oh, man.
There's gotta be something worse. Come on.
There's one movie I think is terrible and not even worth watching because I don't feel that it's just not my cup of tea, and that's a movie called Irreversible. I think that's right, Darren? Irreversible.
Yeah.
That has the worst rape scene I've ever seen in history. I will never, ever, ever watch that movie again.
Why worse? Is it too graphic?
It's long. It's very long. It's very emotional.
It's upsetting. It's not graphic per se. It's but the payoff is incredible. The whole film's done back to front. It plays out backwards, and you see this horrific murder in a nightclub, which is just, I mean, it's one of the best visual effects I've ever seen. And then you get to find out why that murder happened. And it all boils down to this rape scene, which is just it's Monica Bellucci, I think, isn't it? It's a horrific scene. You know, it's a well-respected movie, but it's a tough watch. That's not something we want to do on The Slaughtered Lamb. We'll do Scream before we did that movie.
Yeah, we will do Scream.
Oh, wow. A couple more questions here. Flinner says, or asks, what are your guys' thoughts on Halloween 2018 specifically? I'm not even sure I know this one. What did you guys think of 2018?
It's okay. You know, it's not, I don't think it's as good as part 4. But it's okay. I own it. If it's on cable or satellite, I'll watch it. Yeah, it's good. Remember, without Halloween H18, we would not get what's probably going to be the most brutal Halloween coming up next year. So it's fine. It doesn't bother me.
Alberto says Frank secretly has Scream posters in his house.
Ready for the fire.
Zach says, Frank, is Dead Alive your favorite Peter Jackson film? It's nice that someone besides me remembers that film.
Yes. Yeah. It would go Peter Jackson's Dead Alive, a.k.a. Brain Dead, Heavenly Creatures, Bad Taste, and then Lord of the Rings trilogy. Awesome. And then at the end of the bottom, I would think would probably be the Lovely Bones.
Awesome.
And King Kong.
And King Kong.
All right, I got 2 questions.
Meet the Feebles. You forgot Meet the Feebles.
Oh, I forgot Meet the Feebles. Yeah, okay. So then Meet the Feebles would be number 3.
Nice. I got 2 more questions for you, and then you guys can plug what's coming up on your show and what you guys got coming down the pipeline. Frank, how hungover were you after you guys recorded that Halloween 3 podcast? Because let me tell you, that was a good listen.
Well, Darren was straight and focused, and I'm glad he was there. At one point, my dogs were licking me on the ground. I was doing, and Darren could probably, make it.
You fucked it up for yourself, Frank.
Yeah, I did.
The whole idea behind the Halloween 3 podcast, which went live yesterday, by the way, was that every time Tom Atkins got a little gropey, we were going to do a whiskey shot. And that was all fine. I could have managed that. But then Frank threw into the mix as we started recording. Not only are we going to do a whiskey shot while Atkins is getting gropey, we're also going to do a whiskey shot every time the Silver Shamrock music comes on. So we were just doomed big time. So we carried on recording, and we had to stop after 30 minutes because by the 30-minute mark, Frank had spewed 3 times. I don't mean 3 times he threw up. It was 3 separate occasions. So he spewed, came back, carried on. Oh, I've got to go again. And all this is recorded in the background. And if you stick around for the end of the podcast, you can we play a little. We're not going to give you too much of it all because it's too upsetting. But yeah, you can hear him vomiting in the background. And there was one point when he came back in and he collapsed on the floor, and these 2 dogs came in and started licking all his
Beard.
vomit off his beard.
Oh, and when we ended when we ended the cast, we did our famous tagline, stick to the roads and the best of luck. You could hear me say that like on the floor, and I'm just waving my hand at Darren, like this, goodbye.
So we did actually record the whole thing first time round, totally pissed. But we, as I said, we cut it off at 30 minutes, and then the week later we came back and recorded the second half of the movie sober, which was it's turned out really well actually. But yeah, Frank says that one day we'll release the full uncut. We can never do that. We'll be in prison.
Oh man. Wow, that would have been, if you guys were recording the visuals for that, the views you guys would have gotten. Frank would have gone viral.
We'll send it to Tom Atkins.
I don't know how he did it though. I've no idea how he did it, because I was doing exactly the same shots as him, and I only did half a bottle. The only thing is I couldn't see how big his shot glass was. I think Frank was using like a half-pint glass or something like that to do his shots. It was just, I was like, how have you managed to do a whole bottle in 30 minutes?
Wow.
Tom is gropey.
Oh, wow. Final question, guys, and we'll get you out of here. This one's for everybody, and this is to everybody in the chat too. So if you want to chime in on what your answer to this is, that'd be great. We'd love to hear what you think. What, in your guys' opinion, is the best horror sequel of all time? I'm going to start with mine, give you guys a second to think about that. These guys didn't have notes coming into this. This is spur of the moment. This might get some backlash. And even though I love Halloween 4, and it's my favorite Halloween movie, it's not my favorite horror sequel of all time. Earlier this year, I got to see the director's cut to Dr. Sleep, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I don't know what happened with the marketing for that movie. I know it's heavily criticized for some reason. I didn't get to see it in theaters, but that's for a different reason. But I loved it. Like, I fell in love with it. Normally, when people get recasted, and obviously they had to in this case, taken out of the movie, and it's just not for me. I wasn't bothered by it at all, although I am a Star Wars fan, so I'm a little bit biased towards Ewan McGregor. Huge man crush on him. I thought he killed it in that movie. I fell in love with the movie. I loved the nostalgia of it, and going back to the Overlook, it was just amazing. And I've only seen this movie twice, and just absolutely in love with it. So it's specifically the director's cut of Dr. Sleep for me. How about you, Frank?
I would say the best is definitely, for me, Friday the 13th Part 2. That is where we get to meet Jason. That's probably his best, creepiest moments when he's Sackhead Jason. He's actually a little bit more vulnerable. He's still grotesque when we take the mask off at the end. Spoiler. But yeah, that is, to me, the best horror sequel of all time, just because it introduces a character that's going to defy the entire series.
I love Sackhead Jason. I don't think that he gets enough credit. I think everybody's just hockey mask. And I mean, I love hockey and I love the hockey mask look, but Friday the 13th Part 2 is actually it's up there on my Friday list, so I dig it. Darren, how about you, man? Best horror sequel of all time?
Just on Friday too, I loved Jason's name in real life. What was it? Something like Warrington Gillette or something?
Yes. Yeah.
A really cool name. Anyway, two. I've got two actually. I had to think about this. I would say Dawn of the Dead, the 1978, George A. Romero, which is just amazing, a horror sequel. And probably Frank and I are probably going to cover that at some stage. And then the other one, I'm sorry, I'm staying in the 70s and 80s here. I need to, but what do you want me to say? I know what you did I still know what you did last summer. It's just not going to fucking happen. I think the other sequel that I would class as being one of the best horror sequels of all time is Evil Dead 2.
Nice. Good stuff. Well, guys, appreciate you coming out here tonight, especially you, Darren. It's almost 1:30 in the morning where you are. It's a pleasure to have you. Pleasure to finally see you guys, to put voices to names. What do you guys got coming down the pipeline, and where can everybody find what you guys are doing at?
So,
go on, Frank. No, go on.
Okay. So we got coming up on the Slaughtered Lamb movie podcast, which is going to be coming out usually every Friday. We're discussing RoboCop. And we're going to talk about our first impressions as that. We'll go through the same history as we usually do. And we're excited to bring that up because that's also another movie that's not talked about as a lot.
I haven't seen RoboCop in forever, but isn't Colonel Cochran in that, or is it the second one? He's in one of
the
those.
old man. Yeah.
He's the old man. So we had Halloween 3 this week with Dan O'Harely, who played Colonel Cochran, and then we've got RoboCop this Friday with Dan O'Harely again, and then we've got The Fly. I think we're going to do The Fly with Jeff Goldblum. We've already recorded that one. And then I think we're going to do, what else have we got? We've got Total Recall. We're going to do the Arnie one, not the fucking Colin Farrell thing. What else we got? We're going to do
1974's Burnt Offerings with Oliver Reed and Karen Black with Burgess Meredith.
Yeah.
Nice.
If no one's ever seen that movie, it is a PG horror, but it's absolutely a hidden gem. It's fantastic. I can't wait to discuss that either.
Awesome.
And then we're going to do Invasion of the Body Snatchers, I think, at some point.
The original?
Piranha. The 70s one with Jeff Goldblum and Donald Sutherland. Then we're going to do Piranha, the 78 version. And I think that takes us to Christmas, where we're going to do Die Hard.
So you guys are in the Die Hard's a Christmas movie category.
Why not?
We haven't discussed that yet.
Oh, man.
We're going to do it purposefully just to piss Dave McRae off.
I'm in the category that it's not, and the wifey is in the category that it is. So that's a debate we have all the time. Guys, appreciate you doing this. It was a lot of fun, and I hope we can do it again sometime in the not too distant future.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
That'd be great.
Everyone
so
be
much.
safe for Halloween, and love you guys.
Awesome. And obviously, the
guys.
next time that we have you guys on, we will be doing a watch along to Frank's favorite movie, Scream 3. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, there with bows on, Sean.
Alrighty, guys. We will catch you next time. Thanks a lot. It's appreciated.
Thank you.
There you have it. Darren Sands and Frank Riker, the Slaughtered Movie Lamb podcast, and Slaughtered Lamb movie podcast. We're not used to streaming this long. We're on 2 hours and 12 minutes and counting. The Slaughtered Lamb movie podcast. I also just hit me that when I hung up on them, I hung up on Tommy B. So we'll keep Tommy B frozen up in this corner here. and we'll play some tunes in the meantime while I get these guys back in here. We have Johnny joining us and Matt Whitfield joining us for the last hour of Halloween Fest here on Fandom Empire. I know there are people. Sorry, Zach says where at so I can subscribe. They have a Facebook group, Matt. Type in the Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast. They have that. You can catch them on Spotify. I'm assuming they're on iTunes by now, and basically every major podcatcher. Definitely check them out. We will get them. Go subscribe to them. Great guys. I've listened to all 3 episodes, and it's just their synergy is perfect. Let's get Tommy back in here because I think he's a little pissed off that I hung up on him. And Tommy B is back. Let's see if it's going to adjust your picture automatically. It did it falsely. So it hit me that when I hung up on them, I hung up on you. So yeah, that was a pleasure, Tommy. Did you enjoy that, man? Not that I expect you to come out here and be like, I hated it. Frank is just as funny verbally or vocally as he is in the chat. My God. And those two just go off one another so well. Let's see if we can get Johnny and Matt in here. And, a little tease. We were talking about Friday the 13th a little bit there at the end. We're going to dive into the Jason neighborhood here. Sorry, 1 second. Alrighty. Oh, Johnny's back to his factory. And we have
not back to the factory.
It's showing factory for me.
I'm not.
Oh. What's with this? Do you got some obsession with this city?
Walk straight to the random factory with the evil alien robot.
Let's see if... Oh, that's the wrong one. I'm trying to get Maddie in here. Where can we find a Matt? There he is. Man, myth, legend, Matt himself. I moved me instead of Matt.
Can you hear me?
We got you, man. But we're going to do a little intro here so I can reset a couple of things. And we'll be back with the final hour of the Fandom Empire Halloween Fest, talking Friday the 13th, Halloween, and much, much more. Alrighty, welcome back. Final hour of Fandom Empire Halloween Fest here. Would have liked to do this on Halloween, but I can't wait to finally be able to tell everybody what's going on with Haddonfield the Vanished. Something big. We'll get to it next week, I promise. And that'll be a lot of fun. But in the meantime, here we are talking horror movies with four of the Fandom Empire staff here. First up, let's get him out of the way first. since he was just on. Tommy, you enjoying yourself, man? That was a fun interview with Frank and Darren. God, I could talk to those guys for hours.
Yeah, they're great duo there. They really work well together. Provide great content, but we already knew that their pod's great. Really enjoyed it. I'm disappointed. I only tuned in for the first few minutes of that H3 show they did, and then I got distracted. I will have to go back to that. But the way they made it sound like they cut out a good chunk of it, so that's disappointing.
Johnny, were you watching that interview with Darren and Frank or no?
I caught about the last 20 minutes or so here.
So you missed Hot Tub 101.
Apparently I missed Hot Tub 101.
Oh my God.
I don't know if I'm happy about that or not. Right now I'm feeling kind of good about this.
So I asked the question, I'm like, let's dispel the myth. I'm like, Frank, do you own a hot tub? Like, let's just get it out there. And he's like, well, I own a jacuzzi, to which Tommy B had to reply with, what's the difference between a hot tub and a jacuzzi, where we entered, 5 to 7 minutes of the difference. I got an echo here. 1 second, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you. Bloody NDI sources. Where we literally got like 7 minutes of discussion on what the difference of a hot tub and a jacuzzi is. And I mean, just perfect for having Frank on for that. But Tommy just had to ask the fucking question.
Well, I mean, you kind of, if you're going to ask the question, you got to ask it of an expert, right?
Absolutely. Hang on. I just got another message saying we still have an echo, but we should not. We should be in the clear now. There's no NDI sources on.
Well, there is a delay.
Right, the delay. Everybody knows about the delay. So yeah. Also joining us. I don't think I have had this individual on the actual YouTube channel yet. I'm not sure. He has been on CampHaddonfieldPodcast, which is on hiatus right now a couple of times. Patreon supporter, staff member at Fandom Empire, and all around good fucking dude. It's Mr. Matt Whitfield. How's it going, man?
How you doing tonight, gentlemen?
We're doing. Things are busy. Things are crazy. Let me see if I can fix your cam. I can hardly see you. 1 second. There we go. Yeah, it was on my end. Of course, I'm the one making the mistakes.
I had to pull this shirt out of retirement. I mean, it's busting at the seams, so I was like, oof. So got my Halloween shirt on.
Nice. So, I mean, I'm a bigger dude, and Jade ended up messaging me today about a bunch of Halloween shirts she ran into, and of course, there were none in my size, and we wanted to get one for Robert Sutton, who's been looking for a one of those Haddonfield shirts that they sell at Spirit Halloween, and they had a bunch of them, and they were all smalls. So we struck out and was hoping to treat Robert to something special for all the support that he's offered us during this time. Also joining us for this final hour, myth maybe, I'm not so sure about man or legend. It's Johnny V. What's happening, man?
I'm offended. I'm clearly a legend in my own mind.
A legend? That's a bit much even for you.
I believe I said in my own mind.
All right.
Think like that.
All right, so guys, I'm going to kick this off with what question Jade has wanted everybody to be asked tonight. Have you ever seen April Fool's Day? Tommy's already gotten this question. If you have, what did you think about it? If you haven't, just let us know.
I see it every year. It comes around once a year. Oh, you mean the movie? No,
Yeah.
I haven't seen the movie.
The movie's good, man. You especially, knowing your sort of 80s horror vibe, I think you would love it. I really do think you would love it. Matt, how about you?
I've seen it excuse me. I've seen it multiple times. Great movie.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. All right, so Johnny and Tommy, we all talked about what we thought of the Halloween Kills teaser yesterday, the mini teaser. We'll briefly recount what we thought of it, but let's get
What's
Matt's.
a mini teaser?
that's a mini teaser. I'm sorry, 37 seconds.
What's a mini teaser?
That's a mini teaser. I mean, you can't call that a normal teaser trailer. It's just not.
What was the
a
teaser we
is-
originally got?
We didn't actually get a teaser. It was just some little, thing they showed us that, they're both
So
mini.
that's not a mini teaser, but this 30-something thing is a mini teaser?
Well, I mean, they're both
a full teaser is like
about 2 minutes
50
long.
seconds to a minute. Well, I mean,
Most
you know.
teasers are 2 minutes long that have a bunch of fade to blacks, and this
I
person's
think at
in
that
it.
point it's a
That sounds
trailer.
more like a trailer.
Yeah.
No, mini teaser, and I think Sean said it best, was when they did Star Wars Force Awakens. Right at the end of that trailer, you saw the Millennium Falcon. That's a mini teaser.
How about a tiny teaser?
So Matt, what do you think of what we got to see yesterday, man? I know you've been jumping at the bit to see something, and you finally did. Hang on, I do believe you got a hold of the script, right?
I do.
Again, we're not going to talk about the details in the script, but did you feel validated at all by seeing things in that teaser that you very clearly could pick out of the script?
Very much so. I was expecting maybe a little bit more. I was thinking maybe we could get probably a full minute. But I think what that teaser did was just whet the appetite enough to keep it. Okay, this is we got coming. Don't worry, it's in good hands. And I think that's what that trailer kind of did for me. What is just like, okay, ooh, I can breathe a little bit. And then, like you said, every scene we saw was pretty much in that script, and that I think heightened my level of excitement for it too. So I was like, oh my God, it wasn't a BS script.
No, it most certainly wasn't. But it is what it is. My favorite part was, I don't pay too much attention to the haters, but some of them are fun to listen to. And Frank said it yesterday in our chat. They're like, oh wow, Phantom Empire nailed the mask, and Remzap had one fairly close to it too. And like, yeah, things leak, guys. I know people were thinking, oh, well, small YouTube channel, they don't know what they're talking about, but things leak. That's just part of the industry. And you know what? More is going to leak because the movie's still a year away. It's just the way these things work. Loose lips sink ships. But it is what it is, I suppose. We have tons of time to talk Halloween. We'll talk Halloween towards the back half of this, get some more Q&A. Frank says, thanks for having us on, by the way. Frank, anytime, man, anytime. Appreciate the support.
Thank you for the hot tub education.
The hot tub education, just absolutely fantastic. Or should we thank Tommy for asking the question? I'm not really sure. I feel like I have a new amount of knowledge tonight, as if I learned something. Although, hey, Darren pointed out the different Loomis coat in Halloween 2, which I've never noticed before. So now I'm going to be going back and going, So I definitely want to check that out. Let's dive into Friday the 13th for a bit. There's so many ways we could dive into this franchise. Let's start with this. What is your favorite Friday the 13th movie, and what is your least favorite Friday the 13th movie? Tommy hasn't seen them all. I think he's only seen a few of them. So why don't we start with Matt? It's been a while since we've had Matt on, man. What's your favorite and why, and what's your least favorite?
I'm probably not going to be joined with a lot on this opinion, but I loved 7, New Blood. I really did, and I think it got butchered by the ratings and what it could have been. My least favorite is probably Jason Takes Manhattan. I mean, the premise was good in theory, but the execution was just crappy. I probably do have up there. One of my favorites is I like Jason Goes to Hell. I might have told you this story. My buddy and I, Justin, God, we were teenagers. We started kind of like penning like a treatment ideas.
I've heard
for
this one.
Jason.
Yeah,
Jason Goes to Hell. And if you know anything about the movie, the premise, through a Voorhees he dies, through a Voorhees he will be reborn. that was a big thing that me and my friend Justin were on as far as like trying to put something together. And then we went to the good movie theater and saw that movie, and we almost started crying because we were like, "Oh my God, why didn't we finish this? Why didn't we go forward?" So, and if I had another, I think for me, my two favorite are probably 6 and 7, and my least favorite are 5 and Jason Takes Manhattan.
Alrighty. Before we do, Darren says, I want to second that Frank Riker said, I want to second what Frank Riker said. It was great to join the stream. Look forward to doing it again sometime. We need to sit down and we need to get Frank Riker, Darren, myself, Tommy, and Johnny here on a stream. And generally we like to keep to 4, but I don't think we can convince Frank to watch a bad Scream movie. Although it would be hilarious to have a stream where we watch Scream and just Frank's going off on rants, and it'd be just incredible. I don't know if there's enough money in the world to get him to do that, but we should absolutely do a watch along together sometime. It'd be a lot of fun. Johnny, your favorite Friday and least favorite Friday, and most importantly, why? And to the chat, what is your favorite Friday the 13th movie and least favorite?
Okay, I come with visual effects because, I bought the box set. So, let's see if this works. Favorite is completely invisible.
No, we can't see anything.
Lovely. Okay. Then I guess no visual effects. That's fun.
Yeah.
My favorite is 6, Jason Lives. That's that second part of the Tommy Jarvis saga. Just, I don't know, there's something about it. Tommy in the halfway house, and, I always enjoyed that story, right in the middle. Least favorite? Come on. Yes, Jason Goes to Hell is bad and it's schlock, but, I saw it when I was a kid the first time, so I actually enjoyed it for that. But it's Jason X. Jason X is the worst.
It's got some cool kills, though.
It shouldn't exist. I don't know what... it's an abomination of everything that Jason stands for. It's a Friday the 13th movie, had unprotected sex with an alien movie, and this is the result. It's awful.
It's quite the visual.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
There's one great scene, though. When he goes back to Crystal Lake. That's the best scene of the movie, hands down.
You can have a great scene in an awful movie.
Oh, I know.
But it doesn't make the movie good.
Oh, I know.
Jason X is, without question, it's awful. It's unconscionable. It's unimaginable. It's unfathomable. I could keep going with words that, are synonyms of awful, but I'll leave it at that and say Jason X is far and away the worst.
Tommy, what, since you haven't seen
I've
many
only
of them.
seen 1 through 3 recently.
So what is your favorite of the original 3?
Probably 2 right now.
Baghead. Did you like Baghead?
I like the mask, and I do feel like that mask appearance scene was extremely powerful.
When you're literally wearing a burlap sack on your head, can you actually call that a mask?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not referring to that. I'm referring to 3. I like the mask, and I like when he appeared, on the dock like that. That was some epic shit right there. But 2 was a better movie overall for me than 3.
The biker gang takes points away from 3. That was just sort of...
I don't know. They weren't the worst thing about the movie.
No, but it just felt unnecessary. It seemed like the writers watched The Warriors and decided, we need a gang like that.
Even if you go back and you look at a lot of reviews of 3, it tends to stack pretty low, and the highlight of the movie is, hey, it introduces the mask. That's it.
So my favorite, and I've said it a couple of times on the channel, which is probably blasphemy to most, is the remake. I think when you take the score and the soundtrack and the acting, I thought it was the best of all the Friday movies. Obviously, Jared Padalecki being in it is a little unbiased or a little biased on my behalf, and giving points to our supernatural friends. I really liked that movie, and I thought they could have continued with it, and they didn't. So
he's not Jason, is he?
No, no, he's not.
God,
Darren Pierce is.
No, he's the main character though. But no, he's not.
He's tall enough to be Jason. But
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I
about
was
it.
like. He's not Jason, is he?
Most
No,
people.
He's big.
He's too famous at that point to have been under the mask. Unless they did some weird retelling and made Jason human, in which case I'd have thrown that out as fast as I did the Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
Ooh.
Most people think that Jensen Ackles is just a short guy, but no, Jensen Ackles is a pretty tall guy himself, and Jared Padalecki is just really tall. So it is what it is. I do have to say though that I do like part 7. I think I got is part 7 the psychic one.
Yes.
I dug that story. I know some people can't stand it. I like 7. I like 6. I like 2, and I like 1. So they're kind of like my 5. The remake, 7, 6, 2, and 1. Not in any particular order. They're the 5 I really like. And everything else for me really feels quite abysmal. I mean, they're fun to watch.
I've really been coming into that understanding. Like, yeah, the Friday franchise has a shit ton more movies than a lot of other horror franchises, but a lot of them are stinkers.
I mean,
how'd that happen? How the hell did that happen?
Because they started popping up one every single year, and it became quantity instead of quality.
Yep.
It was just about making a bloodier, gorier kill and
that
making
kind
money.
of makes you think of something, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know. It reminds me of another fairly successful franchise in a different genre that started popping one movie out every year, and it just, I don't know, it wasn't turning out too well for them. I wonder what genre that could be, or movie franchise that could be. The thing that I don't get, look, I absolutely do think film is subjective, and, you know, if someone's like Star Wars, Star Trek, you know, Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, etc., for me, though, I fail to understand how people think Friday the 13th as a franchise is better than Halloween. I don't get it. Because, like, there's really no, other than Tommy Jarvis, there's no connecting story going forward. It's all sort of one-offs. I think Friday the 13th at its peak is absolutely fantastic. I love it. But I also think Friday the 13th, the stinkers... you know, give me Halloween 5 all day over the stinkers. Give me Rob Zombie's movies over the stinkers. It just
that was a major point of discussion for us maybe a couple weeks, a month back, is that, you know, thinking back to all the Friday films, I can't even remember the name of, you know, any of the characters. Who stuck with you?
Nobody.
Can you name any of the characters, any of the counselors from the first film? I can't.
Kevin Bacon.
Can you name the character, though?
By name, no, but they...
I don't care about the actor's actual name. I care about the the character name.
Toronto Freddie says because difference of opinion. Yeah, that's why I said everything's subjective. I think The Last Jedi is dog shit, and
I agree.
There's people that will swear over a grave that that's the best Star Wars movie ever written. I absolutely believe that all film is subjective. You know, I always like
I
when
love Solo, and you're not a big fan of it.
but I don't hate it either. It's just sort of there. I always am intrigued when someone really loves something that I don't like, because you try to get into that person's head, and it's like, okay, well, what do they see in it? And you try to, pick up on things that maybe you're just not giving enough respect to. Absolutely. It's all opinion. We're not here to say, hey, if you like Halloween 5, then fuck you. No, we're not. We're not.
You're wrong. That opinion is a wrong opinion.
Right. Although, let me tell you, we haven't talked about it yet, and I'm going to try not to dive into it till Tuesday. But wow, The Mandalorian this morning.
Don't say nothing. I'm going to watch it after this.
It's something else.
You're in for something good.
Yeah.
You are.
Anyway, back to...
I watched it this morning at 5:30.
I didn't watch it that early, but... So, here's the question. again, this is all on opinion. Johnny, I know you're a big Friday guy.
Mm-hmm.
Where did the franchise start to go south? And that doesn't mean they didn't correct themselves, but where was the first one where you went, oh, this is slipping a bit?
Well, I mean, there were missteps throughout. I mean, you know, they kind of redeemed themselves there in that middle block with the Tommy Jarvis saga. You know, they got back a bit more onto having one character sort of go from one to the next. Like, they'd always had a character go from one to the next as the bridge between. That's why you always got the ending of the last movie at the beginning of the next movie. And I was okay with that. Like, don't get me wrong, it felt weird. It feels weird when you're marathoning, when you see the end movie, you know, the end of the sequence, and then you immediately watch it again in the next movie. But they didn't really have those, you know, it was Jason and the location that was meant to be your tie that binds. You know, they kind of started getting away from Crystal Lake and moving into other locations, sort of close but different. And the real big change was when it started studio jumping in the 80s. And that's when things started to get off the rails, because you lost that direction. You know, there was no longer those, you know, the studio heads were no longer providing direction, and it just became hopscotch. You know, I mean, they went through, 3 different studios, I think. Yeah, I think it was with
I didn't think they jumped studios till after Manhattan.
It was
Paramount.
I don't think it was Manhattan was the last one. I think it was.
Let's get some
I think it might have actually been 7.
Well, let's get some fact checking in here, guys. Let's. When did they jump studios? If someone wants to let us know in the chat, or
I think Manhattan was the first one with the new studio.
Right.
And you had Goes to Hell, and then X, and Freddie Jason were New Line. So I think it was the 3 studios.
Mm-hmm.
So you had, you know, the main one 1 through 7, or 1 through 8, 1 through 7, and then 8, 9 were Miramax.
Yeah.
And then 10 and Freddie Jason was New Line.
Yeah.
And then whoever the new one was for the new, I can't remember which studio it was for the remake, but that was completely different. I mean, you have 3 different studios. You can't do that and have it work, because you're working with different, you know, you're working with different guidelines, different producers, different writers, different everything, you know, different, I mean, and let's not even touch different cinematographers, different, you know, crew, and that makes a huge difference. You know, like, cinematography in horror movies is a big deal. It's a huge deal, and they're probably the unsung heroes of most horror movies. You know, the directors get love, the writers get love, but the cinematographers don't always get the love they deserve. When you're bouncing from studio to studio, it's nearly impossible to have that direction. They didn't have that direction, which is why once you switch from studio to studio, I mean, I think, what was it? You know, you had the first 7 were all, you know, camp, cabin type locations. You know, they were more rural. You know, they were less. And then you move into the urban city, and Jason doesn't do well in urban locations. He doesn't. You know, he's a character that thrives on the forests and the trees, and, you know, Michael Myers thrives in the urban. If you put Michael in the forest, it wouldn't be quite this. It wouldn't be the same, because, you know, Michael lives on that disappearing into the shrubs, disappearing between the houses, and, you know, disappearing in the reflections and the things like that. He plays to the urban environment,
but
where Jason doesn't.
But on that thought alone, that would make him more dangerous, because he has that rural aspect that Jason has. The secluded, you don't know where he is. That's what makes Michael so effective.
He blends in wherever you are.
Right.
You know, in the city, like in the forest, the trees, I don't know if he'd still be the same, because it's a different. He doesn't quite have the same. You know, it's not quite the same. Like, Jason will just walk through the forest at you, whereas Michael kind of shapes and you know, he disappears and plays with your illusions, and, you know, it's 2 different environments. And once you switch Jason from that from that rural environment into the urban environment, he lost his direction.
Yeah, I mean,
I can agree with you on that.
I've always thought, and I kind of like this train of thought. Let's stick with it. The Michael Jason thing. We'll touch on Freddy versus Jason. I know there's a few people that have been asking for it. We will touch on Freddy versus Jason, but let's talk about Michael versus Jason for a second. And just in terms of like who's scarier, I've always felt, especially as I got older, that I think Jason's cool. I love playing the Friday the 13th game. It's been way too long, Johnny. We need to rectify that.
I concur.
Definitely want to keep playing that fun game. But there's something about Jason that just, as much as I like him, he's not scary in my opinion. He just, hey, here's this indestructible force that no matter what you do, you cannot kill him. Because if you do, he'll just be resurrected. And just where Michael, it's like he's just a dude with a supernatural presence about him. And I think there's something scarier about, hey, I know that we can kill this guy, but somehow we haven't yet. Then here's this immovable object that we can't kill. I just think there's something different about that. For me, Michael's scarier. Except for eyeliner, Michael. I've never understood why they did that. I'm a Michael guy, but I'm also more of a Halloween guy than a Friday the 13th guy. I would argue that Freddy's the most fun out of them all. Absolutely the most fun out of them all. But Michael's the scariest for me. Johnny, what about you?
Well, I mean, there are different types of scary, right? Like Michael's scary because he's human. You know, that's the thing. He is, he's a human entity that is just, through sheer force of will, developed this essentially unkillable attitude. Yet at the same time, he manages to get out through human means. You know, I mean, there hasn't really been, he'll get shot, but a human can survive a gunshot wound. You know, it's when the things get a bit above that level, when you start, like you chop off his head. Well, it's not actually Michael. It's
paramedic.
Exactly, and that's what made Michael different, because he was that human. He's that human element. He's scary. Whereas Jason is, I don't really know how to describe Jason. He's different. He's not human. Yeah, he can't be human, because let's be real, he lived underwater for 20 years? 16 years, something like that. And it's more supernatural. And he plays through that the need for those talismans, like his mother's sweater, his mother's decaying head, the little cabin, those things were all touchstones for him. Michael is scarier to me because of the human element. The human element is a big deal. Jason, you could kill him, you could keep killing him, and he was killed at the end of every film, basically. They never found the body. So, it's a whole different animal, whereas Michael would escape. He would slip out of the clutches of the heroes, and he would keep thriving and surviving on his goals, which, granted, they changed through times, going from one character to the next, but he always had a goal. There was always a character that was driving him forward, whereas Jason's goal was keep teenagers from having sex and keep them from opening up the Camp Crystal Lake summer camp. Not really goals, just
Jade
things to do.
Jade says, okay, hear me out. Jason is actually Aquaman's brother. Oh wow!
I can't deal with the idea of Pamela Voorhees having sex with an Atlantean. That's just weird.
Maddie, who's scarier, man, Jason or Michael? And I'm not saying when you. By the way, I get what Toronto Freddie's saying in the chat. He's just desensitized to it. I am too. I don't get scared when I watch a Halloween movie. It doesn't matter if it's a new Halloween movie or an old Halloween movie. I don't get scared. I love the movies and I love the characters. I'm saying if you were in the movie and it was real, what is scarier? And to me, it's Michael. Matt, where are you?
I'm kind of on the same level in the sense of he's a human entity. with a supernatural touch. And Jason, it's interesting because Jason, we don't know what he is other than some form of supernatural. I mean, they never really told the story, the backstory of. All we know is his kid drowned and he was down at the bottom of the lake for 20 years, and then he decides to come start killing after his mommy died. So it's like, where do you go from there? And then it just got stupid as far as the deaths and everything. In my opinion, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the Friday 13th movies, but they don't hold a candle to Halloween. They're not on the same level as Halloween. Even Halloween 5 is pretty much better than any Friday 13th sequel.
Again, subjective. We should point that out there. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion on it. I don't know if I'd go that far about Halloween 5 being better than every Friday the 13th sequel. But yeah, Tommy, how about you, man? You've basically started watching these movies for the first time, Halloween and then Friday. In your opinion, although you haven't seen for all the Fridays, who's scarier and why?
I think it depends. I don't want to just say Michael Myers outright. And that's because it depends on what context you're looking at it in. In some contexts, you look at Michael Myers, like that's not scary at all. That seems kind of silly, stupid in the portrayal. Eyeliner doesn't help, not even a little bit. I'm only just now getting into the Friday movies. I watched 1 through 3 a couple weeks ago. I got the 1 through 8, collection. So I have more to go through. Just haven't gotten down to it. But from what I understand, most folks just basically become desensitized to Jason pretty damn quickly. I think Michael Myers is easily outright, if you look at the overall character, the winner here. But I don't want to play the game that Jason's not scary or isn't, explicitly lesser in all ways, or, no extremes like that. Especially bearing in mind that I don't think I've gotten to the best of the Friday franchise yet. I often hear a lot of good stuff about 4, the final chapter. We just heard the next couple movies. I think 6 and 7. Some folks hate them, some folks love them. So I'm definitely looking forward to that, and maybe at some point I'll give a more updated answer.
Alrighty, well, let's go around the round table with this one here. We only have a few questions left, and that will be the end of our 3-hour stream. Here's one. Now, this doesn't have to be from a horror franchise either. What is, in your opinion, the scariest movie you have ever seen? The scariest movie you've ever seen. For me, it's The Shining. It still is The Shining. You'll watch it at home with all the lights off and nobody in the house, just you. And man, I don't know what it is, if it's the surroundings, the way it's shot, the overlook itself. It makes me feel really uneasy. Like, just the kitchen. You go into the kitchen in that, and it's just like, there's something about it that's like, oh. It's The Shining for me. Johnny, how about you, man? Scariest movie you've ever seen?
I think it would have to be The Exorcist.
Mm-hmm. The original, I'm assuming?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's partly when I first watched it. I was probably way too young when I first watched it. And it scared the bejesus out of me because it was more, I don't want to say normal because, exorcisms and possessions, it's a little out there, but it was done in a much more down-to-earth fashion. It wasn't out there. Most other horror movies were out there. And if I'd have seen The Shining first, it would probably get the nod, but I didn't. I saw The Exorcist first. And just there's something about that normalcy. The character looked so normal until she wasn't, and it was that scariness. Like, it was the again, I said it earlier when I talked about cinematography, but it's a perfect example of that. The shots in that movie were just so, they made my skin crawl. The way they shot the outdoor shots, with the fog and the focusing in on the things the way they did, it just was terrifying.
Sorry, I was trying to read something Jade sent me, but I don't really get the picture. Anyway, Matt, scariest movie you've ever seen, man? What is it? I'm curious.
You're probably not going to see this coming. Poltergeist.
I've never seen it.
What?
Legit.
Oof.
Haven't seen it. Haven't seen Christine. Haven't seen Black Christmas. There's a lot of movies I need to see still.
Poltergeist needs to shoot up to your top. Trust me. I mean, I remember going to see that movie in the theater. My mom and dad were like big horror movie fans. So seeing horror did not scare me. But being about 5 or 6 years old, going to movie theater to go see Poltergeist, that scared the ever-living bejesus out of me. And I was like, I didn't want to go home and watch TV because I was scared I'd get sucked right into the TV. I actually have 3. And Halloween's up. I mean, Halloween's right there because to me, Dean Cundey and what Carpenter did with that soundtrack is what made that movie. That's what sold that movie, because the lighting, you never knew where Michael was. That music, I mean, we all know the story. He took it to an exec, and he was like, "This movie isn't scary." Went back, put the music in, and now it's scary. And I think that. And the third one is right up there, The Shining.
Nice.
I still get goosebumps watching that movie from time to time. I probably haven't seen it about 2 or 3 years. And you're going to shoot me for this one. I have not seen Dr. Sleep yet.
Oh, man. Watch the director's cut, dude.
Yeah.
Director's cut. You won't regret it. Flanagan knocks it out of the park.
I believe it.
Tommy B, your favorite, what was the most scary movie you've ever seen in your life? We know the answer is The Last Jedi. No, go ahead.
You might want to give me some backlash over this. Not typically horror movies that quote unquote get me or stay with me. In the sense of, slashers. No, it's not those typically. Movies that get me are, I think we would call them psychological films. We're talking like your Cabin Fever, although that's got a humor bit to it. Another one that comes to mind is Orphan. That one's kind of...
Orphan?
Yeah, I remember seeing that one maybe a couple years after it came out, and I just didn't see it coming. Didn't see the turns that took. Maybe I wasn't watching it quick enough. Maybe I was a bit young at the time. I was, high school, whatever. That was an interesting flick. So that's where I stand. It's not really the slashers. It's not your torture films. It's the ones that mess with your head.
Nice stuff. Johnny, you still haven't seen Dr. Sleep yet, have you?
No.
We're going to have to do something with that. I'm going to have you over, watch the director's cut, and do a little bit of a... I don't know if I'd want to do a watch-along the first time you see it. I think it's the type of movie you want to pay attention to. I don't know. Maybe it would be. I don't know. We'll talk about it. It's good. It's long, though, right? It's a 3-hour movie, so... yeah, wow. All right, I asked these guys this earlier in the day, the last panel. Guys, give me your best horror sequel ever. That's right. Let's talk about what you guys think is the best horror sequel ever. We've already Tommy was on for that, so let's get Johnny and Matt's take on that. Actually, Tommy, I don't know if you got a chance to answer that one, so we'll get your opinion on it.
Yeah, you keep cutting me off.
moderator job. Keep things moving. No, I was.
I don't think I'm versed enough. I'm still, past few months to a year as an adult, really getting into the horror genre.
Let me just write you down for Halloween 4 then.
No. It's great. But honestly, I am torn between Friday 2, Zach Jason all, and Halloween's got a lot of great sequels. But if I wanted to look at something more contemporary, I do like 2018. Maybe it's just that I'm a newer person invested in the franchise, but 2018 often wins for me is what I like. The other side of that, though, is I feel like one reason I have a real appreciation for 2018, like other Halloween fans, is the fact that there's all this other Michael Myers content that's been released over the years that really contributes to the whole, we'll say, character of Michael Myers, even if it's not, that big bad C word canonically linked. So,
wow.
If I had to pick one though from Halloween, I'd probably stick with H2.
H2,
and I probably can't vote for Rob Zombie's H2 is the worst because I haven't seen it, but yeah. So,
Johnny, favorite horror sequel ever?
Well, I know somebody in the chat who's probably going to love this answer. Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors.
Dream Warriors?
Ooh. Dream Warriors. Yeah, it just, that the beauty of Freddy was always it was the dreams, and it's so relatable. But then you start to get that idea of lucid dreaming and controlling your dream environment, and it just added that whole new environment where people could start fighting back against Freddy. And it was an amazing movie with a really good cast too. I mean, was it Patricia Arquette and Lawrence Fishburne? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like two names I wouldn't particularly go to when we're looking at, late 80s horror slashers, but just an amazing cast, a great movie, and for my money, Robert Englund's best performance under the Burns.
Matt?
H4.
Nice. Like I said earlier.
I'm so torn between H4 and 2018 because there's two different storylines in play, and then that's where you have there's no brother 40 years later, and then you have here he is going after his niece, and just what they did with both. It's more like a 1A, 1B. And here's another horror movie I think that gets overlooked: Fright Night, the original.
I was about to ask.
Yeah, not the remake. Colin Farrell destroy that movie.
Oh man! All right. Well, gentlemen, we are at the 3-hour mark, which is where it's typically time to wrap up. But we teased in hour 1 we had a surprise for people, and we do. And someone's not going to like it. It's time.
Oh, no, I don't even know what you're about to say, but no.
Tea time?
It's time.
It's some sort of trivia, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I can see this coming.
It's time for some horror trivia.
Oh, God.
I am not partaking.
You must partake.
All right, everybody. Let's Let's do this. It's really simple. We're going to steal from the Imperial Remnant broadcast, basically the same rules that we do over there for our Star Wars trivia. What we have here is, it's a little different, though, because we want it to go quicker. We don't want to take too much time with this. So what happens is we have 3 questions. Okay, don't cheat, guys. Don't look at the chat. We have 3 questions. You will be put on a time limit.
Forgetting the delay. We won't be able to see the chat.
You'll have 10 seconds to answer. If you need a repeat, you'll get 5 extra seconds, and you only get 1. Every question is worth 2 points. You are all getting the same questions. Okay? If you need multiple choice, you can have it on 2 of the 3 questions. 2 of the 3, not all 3. If you get the question right with multiple choice, it's worth 1 point. If you don't need multiple choice and you get the question right, it's worth 2 points. So the way this works, so let's say Matt needs multiple choice and the other 2 answer without. We'll get Matt's multiple choice, and I'm not going to tell you guys what the correct answer until everybody's had a chance to get their answer in one way or another. Everybody understand?
I think so.
All right. Question number 1. In 1996, Kevin Williamson wrote the screenplay for what movie that takes place 1 year after someone's death? I need to know within the next 10 seconds.
Can we just blurt it out? Like,
I'll ask each one of you guys. So yeah, the timing doesn't really work that well for this, but so you have 10 seconds to think about it. We're going to say about the time's up. Matt, do you know the answer?
No.
Johnny, do you know the answer?
I think so.
Are you going to use multiple choice or no?
No.
Tommy, do you know the answer?
I'll take multiple choice.
All right. Matt, are you using multiple choice since you don't know?
Multiple choice.
All right. So multiple choice is, again, the question. In 19...
Do I answer before?
Do you answer before? No. But you don't get multiple.
I don't want multiple choice.
Yeah, but, well, that's... oh, right. So, okay. Yeah, answer.
So then just take whatever answer I get and add it to the pool, assuming I get it wrong. So if I get it wrong, you just add my choice to the list of whatever multiple choice is, so that either way you're saying my choice, whether it's right or wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Not really. But again,
I'm saying if I give an incorrect answer, substitute
of
the multiple choice answers with my answer.
I'm not going to tell you if you're right or wrong.
No, I understand that, but so that way.
What's your answer?
Scream.
All right. So the options are for this question. In 1996, Kevin Williamson wrote the screenplay for a movie that takes place 1 year after someone's death. Your options are I Know What You Did Last Summer, Scream, Halloween H2O, and The Crow. Matt, I need an answer.
Crow.
It's Scream.
So Matt answers Crow. Tommy answers Scream. They used multiple choice, so I have that check marked for both of them. They can only use that once more. Johnny answers Scream. The correct answer was Scream. So after round 1, Johnny's at 2, Matt's at none, Tommy is at 1. The correct answer was Scream. All right, question number 2. Here we go with some horror movie trivia. What Halloween movie was originally pitched to shoot Michael Myers up into space? What Halloween movie was originally pitched to shoot Michael Myers up into space? 10 seconds to think about it.
I don't remember the name. I've heard the story, but I don't remember the name.
All righty. Matt, are you going to need multiple choice?
No.
Johnny, multiple choice.
Yes.
Tommy, multiple choice.
I'll take it.
All right. Matt, what's your answer?
H2O.
All right. So the multiple choice for the following question. What Halloween movie was originally pitched to shoot Michael Myers up into space? Was it Halloween 4, Halloween 5, Halloween 6, or Halloween H2O? Tommy B.
I don't know why I thought I was going to get something more substantial out of these multiple choices. Well, I just wasted that multiple choice.
I need an answer.
Well, what the hell? I think we discussed space when we did H2O, so I'll go with H2O.
All right, Johnny. By the way, if I find out that you're Googling this, you'll be in some big trouble come Tuesday.
What?
I see the screen going.
Right?
Pages.
That's what I see. I've seen the screen go in different colors too. Let's turn it to the chat. Does anybody think Johnny is cheating at trivia right now?
The simple answer is I was going to go with whatever Matt said anyway because I'm more afraid of him than I am Tommy, so H2O.
H2O. So everybody has answered H2O. Matt did not use multiple choice. Johnny and Tommy did. So Tommy has no multiple choices left. Johnny has one. Matt has one. You were all wrong. It was Halloween 6. Halloween 6, John Carpenter went to New Line Cinema in order to try to gain the rights to the Halloween franchise back, and he was going to shoot Michael Myers up into space.
As long as Matt got it wrong, too, I'm perfectly okay with being wrong.
Luis thinks you're cheating, Johnny.
How dare you, Luis?
The answer was 6. All right, the third and possibly final question. We'll see. Everybody still has a chance. Matt can still force overtime here. Although I don't like Matt's chances at this question. Johnny is definitely in the driver's seat in this one. Which actor of a famous horror movie character appears as a doctor in Supernatural? Which famous actor of a horror movie character appears in Supernatural? All right, we need answers in 10 seconds. Matt's shaking his head.
Multiple choice.
Well, if you use multiple choice, though, you won't get it because it's only worth a point. And you're down by 2, so you're going to have to try to take a guess at this one.
Sean, I know this is kind of against the rules. Can you repeat that question? The wording of it one more
Okay,
time?
yeah, this will be the repeat. Which famous horror movie actor that plays... Sorry, which famous horror movie character that an actor plays appears in Supernatural as a doctor? All right. Tommy, do you want multiple choice? No, you don't have one. I'm sorry. You don't get multiple choice.
Which horror movie character appears in Supernatural?
Which horror movie actor who plays a famous...
That's such a trippy question because both Jensen and Jared appeared in horror movies.
Well, okay, it's not Jensen and Jared. I'll say that. It's not Jensen and Jared. Which horror...
That's too ridiculous.
Which horror movie...
I'm not even going to attempt this. To hell with it then.
All right. Johnny, do you want multiple choice? Time's up. Need to know.
I'm sure I'll take multiple choice.
All right.
If Matt doesn't get it, I win anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Tommy, I need a guess.
I'll take a guess because if Matt doesn't get it right, it just goes on anyway. I'm saying I'll guess as well.
Oh,
no use using multiple choice.
Yeah, okay.
I've got to use multiple choice.
But you can't.
You'll lose.
You can't. You need 2 points.
One more time, I ask. Repeat the question.
All right. Which horror movie actor who plays a famous horror movie character appears in the Supernatural TV show as a doctor?
Bruce Campbell.
You know what? That's an excellent guess. It's not correct, but Bruce Campbell was the first choice for John Winchester.
I would have killed for Bruce Campbell in Supernatural, but I don't think it's ever happened.
No, it didn't end up happening. Tommy, do you have any guess?
Not really, no.
The answer's been in the chat for a while, so I imagine one of you have seen it.
I haven't been looking at the chat, but...
Johnny?
I haven't been looking at the chat.
Robert Englund.
Robert Englund is correct. He plays Dr. Robert in Supernatural. Yeah.
And I'd heard about that too. I couldn't place it.
Yeah.
I knew somebody.
I kept thinking of the Grey's Anatomy knockoff, and I kept trying to think like, wait,
Changing Channels.
Who was in that?
Wow, he played Dr. Robert. Yes, and he was an interesting character. Needless to
Bonus question?
say.
Bonus question?
Well, we have an overtime question here. I mean, Johnny wins regardless, but we will ask the OT question. All right, here we go. In which movie did Christopher Darren play Michael Myers? In which movie did Christopher Darren play Michael Myers? No multiple choice. We'll just see if people can wing it here. Tommy, what's your answer? I know it's a guess. I know.
H2.
Johnny?
I'd say H2 as well.
Matt?
H2.
Well, you guys were 2/3 of the way right. It's in fact H2O.
Oh, yeah.
H2O.
Clearly, that's what we meant.
Yeah, I just forgot the O. Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, 3 hours and 13 minutes later, this thing has come to an end. I want to take a second to thank everybody who came out tonight and thank everybody for a bunch of stuff. But before we do, let's just go around the table. And actually, you know what? I'll do you guys last since you're on here now. Big thanks to, I know Matt Facci couldn't make it tonight, and Kieran. They were both scheduled to appear. They did not. Greatly appreciated trying to make it work. Zach asks all my thoughts of War of the Worlds. I could have swore we answered that question not too long ago. I loved Tom Cruise Spielberg's War of the Worlds. I thought it was great. I thought it was fantastic. First half of the movie is better than the second half of the movie. So big thank you to Matt Facci and Kieran, who could not make it tonight. Our first hour guests, Jason Nike and Nick Pusch, both wonderful guys with fun YouTube channels. They might not have the most subscribers in the world, but subscribers don't always mean everything. It just means they haven't been found yet. Check out both their content. In fact, Jason Nike is on right now. I don't know if he has guests on or not, doing a watch along to the original Friday, the original Nightmare, and the original Halloween all the way till dawn. I'm going to be doing some writing. I'm probably going to turn on his thing and watch it tonight. So you should check that out. Big thank you to the Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast guys, Darren and Frank. We got to arrange a watch along with those guys, a fun drink along. Might have to invite Johnny into studio for that.
So that you have at least one person sober?
So I don't end up on a park bench. That's a story for another time.
For that one.
Yeah, that's a story for another time, but it in fact did happen.
It did.
Big thank you to Tommy B, the only guy other than me that's been on here for more than one segment. Tommy, I know you're tired. You worked all day. You didn't have an off day like I did. Oh, I mean, really, my day wasn't an off day when you go over the Haddonfield Advantage stuff going on right now, which we will let you know next. Toronto Freddie just said he got wet from the stream. I don't know how I feel about that.
Damn! From which stream is the important question?
Well, he's clearly referring to Tommy B, because Tommy B just, tickles his feathers.
Well, I thought it was Intel that Tommy tickled feathers for.
Oh, Intel loves Tommy, and Tommy loves Intel. It's a passionate love affair.
Nah. It's the hot tub.
It's the hot tub. Hot Tub 101 tonight with Tommy and Frank.
I'm going to have to watch that one on cast to see exactly what the heck you're talking about.
I'm going to have to trim that out and make it its own YouTube video. Hot Tub 101 with Tommy and Frank. That was a lot of fun. Tommy, thanks for doing this tonight, man.
Yeah, it was great. Anyone out there, you want to find me, catch me hanging around Facebook. Check out Fandom Empire Den, the channel's Facebook group. And check out Future of Halloween. It's a Facebook group of ours. Been around for a few years now. It's getting some real surge of activity lately, so it's definitely one to check out. If you want to catch me on other platforms, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at TommyB1650.
Maddie, it's been a while, man. Need to do this more frequently. Appreciate all the support. I know you're a Patreon supporter. I know you've supported Indiegogo and are still doing so. You're a staff guy here. You brought Randy into the mix too. Definitely need to do more with you too. Appreciate everything you do, man. Thanks for joining us tonight. Where can everybody find you at?
You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. Oh, God, I don't even remember my handles anymore. Just look for Matt Whitfield. You'll probably find me. You'll see this ugly mug somewhere. So just look. You'll find me.
And Johnny V. Thanks for doing this last segment tonight, man. It's appreciated. Where can everybody find you at?
Man, I had a great deal of fun, including winning the unprepared for trivia.
Yep.
You can find me on this channel on the Star Wars Imperial Remnant broadcast and making random sporadic appearances throughout other shows. You never know when I'm going to pop up.
That's what she said.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Wow. Big. I also want to remind everybody you can check us out on Instagram. It is at Fandom Empire Now, Camp Haddonfield Podcast, Star Wars Renegades, and Star Wars IRB. On Twitter, it's Fandom Empire Now, SW Renegades, and Star Wars IRB. And there's a random empty corner in my studio down here. The Fandom Empire Den. Apparently, Johnny's camera is working from the other day. Random. The Fandom Empire Den on Facebook. Check it out. You can also check out the future Halloween Kills 2020, and much more. Fandom Empire page as well. We're all over Facebook. Check us out on Patreon, www.patreon.com/FandomEmpire. We do the Lampkin Lane show once a month and the Fandom Empire Underground twice a month. Check us out again, www.patreon.com/FandomEmpire. Big thank you to everybody out there that's supported the channel. This was a fun little stream. Well, I don't know if it was a little stream. It was a long stream. But hopefully we provided you some entertainment on your Friday evening. Look, things are crazy where we are. We intend to do our regular streams. We will definitely be live Tuesday night. And we'll try to keep you up to date on all the schedule stuff happening, whether it's Fandom Empire, Imperial Remnant broadcast, or even Haddonfield the Vanished. Big thanks to our regulars. Big thanks to our new viewers. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button. Click that notification bell, because that is, in fact, the way. Happy fucking Halloween, everybody. Be safe. Make smart choices. And we'll see you next time. Because the boogeyman's fucking coming.
That's right.
Got ahead of myself. This just in, literally, all on my phone. Our source reached out to us. Tomorrow, pay attention to this one. Halloween Kills full-length trailer is coming. What we got yesterday was the teaser, and we speculated about this, to the actual trailer is coming. The full-length trailer to Halloween Kills. And by trailer, I mean the thing that you hook up to an 18-wheeler, because we're not getting a full trailer for a long, long time. That was a bit of a treat. I'm a dick. There is no trailer coming tomorrow, to my knowledge. But honestly, pay attention, because something tomorrow is, in fact, supposed to drop. And that's not a joke. It could be a sizzle reel. It could be a teaser poster. It could be behind-the-scenes images. Or it could be the poster. Something tomorrow, to our knowledge, is supposed to drop. And just remember, at the end of the day, we're the little channel that could, although it's our source that deserves the credit and not us, that told you it won't be as much as what you got. Sorry, it'll be more than what you got last year and not as much as what some people would want. And we got the 37-second teaser. And then obviously, I mean, this is as much proof as it gets on knowing what's going on. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, Johnny, Tommy, Matt, Frank, Darren, Nick, Jason, Matt, Kieran, and everybody else. Happy Halloween. Good night.